Yes, people. Good evening. Welcome. And I'll say good morning wherever you are. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Monday Night Madness panel show. As you know, we've been running this show for about 4 weeks, 5 weeks now, and it seems to be, picking up momentum. I've got some very special guests in the building. I only say guests, I say brothers, because you know what? Kind of like communicate consistently, daily basis, whether we're cussing each other, or whether it's, just compliment each other and stuff like that. But you know how it goes, people. You know how it goes. Love and hate. Well, I wouldn't say hate, but you know what? Love and home truths at times. But firstly, let's go from this side. So big up to Dr. S in the bill. I call him Dr. S because I got them special prism. He's Dr. Special for me. So let's start with Dr. S. What are you saying, my G? What's going on, my brother?
What's good, my man? Big up to you, Gianni. Big up to you, Capo, as well. Big up to the chat. I was feeling like como mierda, like after that Wolves result, but I'm feeling a little bit better after yesterday. But
sorry, what did you just say?
I was feeling like como mierda.
What does that mean? Do I look Spanish to you, or whatever language you're talking?
Do I look Spanish to you either? You know what I mean?
I don't know. You might have some Spanish blood, bro. I don't know.
Yeah,
was it Spanish though? Was it
Spanish?
In there?
Yeah. You have
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I was feeling like shit after Wolves. Simply because we had dropped points. Again, like to one of the worst performing teams that we've ever seen in the top flight of English football. Yesterday I was able to sleep a little bit better, but with that being said, we're still maintaining eternal vigilance because at the end of the day, we have to see armpits lifting up silverware. And until that happens, my foot is going to be on the neck of this manager and this squad and this club until we do so. So big up.
When that noise sounds, it's man like Gianni. We say, my G, how you doing, bro?
Good, man. Appreciate being on the show. Same thing. I felt like shit after that Wolves game too and got worried. But then when I realized it was Tudor who was taking over Spurs, I was like, nah, we got this because he's shit. So, yeah, man. Feel better. However, we still need to have a conversation because I think like Villa win at home, the score line is a little flattering to what happened the first 50 minutes of the game, but we'll get into that. But appreciate being on the show. Appreciate meeting Capo. Doc, you already know what's up, and Waffle, appreciate it again, man.
We got, man. Hey, and we got, this is another special guest, man like Waveland in the building. How you doing, my brother?
Feeling good, man. Top of the league. So what can really ask for, really?
I hear it. I'm just going to give you a little warning, Waveland, yeah? These guys don't pack no punches, yeah? They're serious brothers, yeah? So they don't, especially that one down below, yeah? The Italian stallion down there, yeah? He doesn't mess about. Yeah? So this show ain't for the, the faint-hearted, yeah? I'm just going to give you that kind of disclaimer right now, yeah?
No, don't worry. I'm well aware of these guys. I've seen them on shows before, so yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I hear it. But you know what? I want to get the rubbish out the way before we go on to the Spurs game, because as you man was saying, yeah, you felt down, and I'm telling you, yeah, I've never felt so embarrassed in my whole life. Well, I have, but I'm just slightly exaggerating. But no, that was embarrassing. The way our application was against Wolves, we got up 2-0. We all know what happened at the end where Gabriel Raya fumbles. That should not be happening at this stage of the season, guys. What is driving us to act like this? Is it pressure? Is it nerves? Is it the manager's instructions? Why are we making silly mistakes like this? And mistakes happen. Mistakes do happen in games, but too many mistakes are happening for my liking, especially as we can see the Blue Sharks circling. So anyone could go and start and tell me, what is going on with this Arsenal right now, especially against Wolves. I want a full breakdown of your thoughts on that game.
So from my perspective, I think there tends to be a lot of complacency at this squad. Sorry, at this club rather. And and for what it's worth, like on paper, right? Like top of the league versus bottom of the league, people would naturally have a bit of complacency, thinking that we should be smacking that team up, as we should on paper. But when but when the chips fall, and we're we're not taking a full 3 points, things have like questions have to be asked. There has to be a daily autopsy, if you will, of that result. As we'll kind of talk about about the Spurs result in a moment as well. We can see that there is a lack of consistency with this squad, that they have not been able to perform like how they had against Spurs yesterday, consecutively over a stretch of games. But the Wolves match, I think it was a matter of just being just so overly complacent, just thinking that we could brush that team aside, as we should have on paper. But the result did not pan out that way. That's my 2 cents on that so far.
Anyone could go next, man.
You're talking about the Wolves game. I mean,
yeah, Wolves game.
I think it's a mixture of everything. I think the manager is overcomplicating a little bit with his instruction of what needs to go on. I think fitness and lack of rotation has to be talked about, because guys look tired. I mean, the second half of the game against Wolves, when they sent I forget the guy's name, that big 6'7" forward he had. If you notice, he realized coming on being fresh that Timber was the tired one. And everybody agreed that Timber had a bad game against Wolves, but he's been ran into the ground, as it has been with other players. It's also down to selection. I'm sorry. I asked on my stream yesterday, what more does Eze need to do to prove that he's better than Odegaard and that he needs to be the starter for the rest of the season? There's certain players who need to be dropped out of this team. Like right now, there needs to be a serious conversation once again. I mean, it's been serious all year, but we need to bring in a serious conversation at that left wing. So, I think it's a mixture of everything happening at the same time. I think what the doc said is true. There's complacency. This team still hasn't won, so the team still has to prove that they have the mentality to go on and win. When we look at other teams that have won, like when people say, oh, there's no easy game in the Premier League, bullshit. How many times did we see Liverpool or Man City or any other team that was anywhere close to those teams over the last few years go to the worst place team and smack the shit out of them? That's what you're supposed to do when you're contending for a title. And I think the manager is making some mistakes too, but and it kind of carried over into the Spurs game in the first half. I know we'll get to it, but there's a bit of complacency. I think tired legs are starting to show. I think the lack of rotation at times is showing. So it's a little bit of everything that's going on to why we look the way that we look with Wolves.
Couple.
From the Wolves game, I want to, don't get me wrong, I was just like everyone else. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I don't know, like, I do take into consideration, like, these guys have never won anything of note. Even with the FA Cup we won, he, like, stripped that team and created his new team. So there is that mental getting over the line that can't really be taught. Like, you have to go through it yourself, if that makes sense. Like, you have to experience it yourself as a player. There's nothing Mikel can tell you or anyone else can tell you to prepare you for the mentality that you'll need. So I'm kind of, in a way, like, and realistically, like, from now to the end of the season, last 10 games is the most important time, regardless of whatever's happened. From now to the end of the season is what everyone's been asking for the whole season, mentality, this and that. It only matters from now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So once we do get over that line, I think those games that we talk about through the season where we probably faltered a little bit with our mentality, I feel like next season we'll see the effects of overcoming that, if That makes sense. So I don't really want to put too much onus on specific games.
So I don't. Sorry,
Go on.
So now I just need to put us onto subscribers mode. So I don't like people just jumping in for 2 seconds. So yeah, I've heard a lot of stuff that you guys have had to say and stuff like that. But ultimately, yeah, we played a team that are literally in the relegation zone. They don't have to. They're not fighting really for anything. They just turned on the level in the second half, and they were able to match us. You know, for quality. You know, if we won that game now, and I have to say if. We'd be 5 points ahead, wouldn't we? Still 5 points ahead. But now we've just put extra pressure on ourselves going forward. And it just seems like it's happening again. It's happening again. You know, that's how the feeling is right now. Because I don't want to come to the end of May, yeah, and then be hearing all Man City's done it again, and they've not had to do anything this season. You know, sometimes I think to myself, yeah, are we that bad in terms of like our mentality that the moment we see a little bit of pressure, we just cave in? So in saying that, we lost point, you know, we obviously messed up royally against Wolves. Embarrassment. And then after that, we go to the Tottenham Hotspur ground under pressure, and you know, we put on a performance that's decent. But the performance was okay, you know, I think it was okay, but there was I thought there were parts in that game where I don't know, man. You know, the Gabriel push, the one where Reyes hooked off the line. There could have been some moments in that where we would have been like back against the wall stuff again.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, obviously Gyokeres and Eze turning up the heat. But we've been saying it. Johnny's been saying it. Dr. S has been saying it. These guys should be playing regularly, not being taken off regularly. Let them play. But the manager decides that he doesn't want to play them. He wants to bring them off, bring his favourites on, tweak this, tweak that. But why do you keep changing things, man? And this is my problem right now. I need some consistency in the team. What you guys got to say about that? I need to bring up my list because I'm actually just waffling right now.
Yeah, you know, like and big fella, you are freezing like an ice cube tray over there as well.
Am I freezing? Yeah.
Oh my days.
Oh my god,
This is the hot spot, isn't it? Yeah,
hot spot. These guys, yeah. I'm telling you, I want to fight the broadband company, man. Am I still freezing?
Hell yeah, man! You're like
that.
You know what you got to do. You got to change the settings to ultra low latency.
Oh, is it?
I don't know if you can do it from here, but I saw it when I was on my way in. There's a setting that you can.
You know what? I'm just gonna be like this for now, so you don't have to see my freezing ass.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy work, man.
Let me check.
Pause.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So look, I mean, like much how you had said, you know, like there were definitely some pauses for concern, you know, like at that match yesterday. And, you know, I think I'm done with this narrative, you know, people want to peddle how the referees have an agenda against us. You know, because they should rather because that equalizer that they had disallowed probably should not have been disallowed, and we got away with that. You know, and that was after, mind you, that was after the first half, after the referees had a technological snafu, with their earpieces, and everyone was saying, "Oh, the referees are, you know, they are stymieing our momentum in the first half." You know, like we just gotta stop chatting such absolute rubbish. All right, you know, like the referees don't have an agenda, and we could see yesterday, like, you know, like things could have very well gone pear-shaped. But for what it's, you know, like, and there were even some players as well that I'm sure that we'll talk about, you know, like our hopeful future captain Declan Rice. He had an absolute stinker of a first half performance, and then had really turned it around second half. So, you know, it's, you know, like this team, as you had you know, correctly said, like Waffle Don, you know, like the players as a whole, and as well as the manager, need to demonstrate consistency. You know, like we had said this. Mind you, this isn't the first time that we have said this season, though. Like we had said this after the Atletico Madrid game. We had said this after the Bayern München game. We had said this after Aston Villa. You know, like, and we're saying it again after Tottenham. We need to put in a consistent run of games, you know, like over a stretch of 5 or 10 games, if not more. You know, like the fact that we're having these, you know, like 45-minute performances, you know, like in one game that are, you know, that are dictating the results of a match. I just find a little bit disconcerting. You know, like I find disconcerting that we're not a lot more quick out of the gate at the first whistle. That sometimes takes us 45 minutes just to even get like acclimated to the game. I just find that very disconcerting, you know. Again, and I also find disconcerting that the manager's always acting like an air traffic control, person on the tarmac, you know, like waving his hands frantically, you know, trying to give out directions. And I ask myself, like, what are you guys doing during training that is, that is like suddenly, like, you know, just dropping off the face of the earth, you know, like what is so critical that you're trying to express to your players that you haven't been doing so the last few days prior to this match, and also prior to other matches as well. So just gotta see more consistency, because if we do see consistency, we're going to see players like Victor Gyokeres score. We're gonna see Eze doing bits, but just as well, the manager needs to invest the same level of trust that he does in players like 29 and Pillowfoot and Jesus. He needs to reciprocate that type of confidence into players like Gyokeres and Eze. You're on mute, big fella.
You're muted.
Anyone can land, man. I'm the host, innit? So anyone could talk, innit? I'll talk for like an hour, and you, man, won't say nothing. So talk, man. Talk about let it out. Let it out.
You know what? Yeah, to be fair to Gabriel, there was another goal that he conceded where he was pushed. I'm trying to remember what game it was.
Newcastle.
Was it Newcastle?
Yeah, when they scored. Yeah, they scored. There was who pushed him?
Yeah,
I can't remember, but he was pushed. But these things happen, and
that's what I'm saying. They come and go in it. So it's like, it's not really. I don't really look at that and think like we've probably had 2 or 3 of those back gone against us during the season. So it's about time we get one for us, innit? That's just how it goes.
But Mark's just being bitter in the chat, and big up to Mark here, my guy. Yeah, we're not even saying that thing wasn't soft. Yeah, that was soft, and there should be consistency. Sure. I think you, man, done it to Man United, done it to a team as well, and I think that goal was disallowed as well. So that just goes to show, yeah, the lack of consistency with the referees and stuff as well. But the referee blew up straight away once he saw that happen. So, you know, VAR aren't going to get involved when a referee makes a decision just like that straight away. So, you know, we got away with one. We also got away with one where the ball nearly crossed the line, and Raya done his off the line tactics, getting the ball off the line as well. Just a straight question, guys. Are you guys convinced that we can still win this title? Because I don't know, man. We're just getting away with stuff at the moment.
Strong word. I don't think convinced is the word any Arsenal fan would use, to be fair.
But you saw in the chat, yeah, Kate. You saw in the chat, Kate was saying we're winning the league. I wasn't hearing none of this.
Yeah, but
stuff last
even
week.
I think we're winning the league, but convinced it would be pushing it. Like, and to be fair, the reason why I'm confident we're winning the league is because when I look at City, I don't see anything there. Everyone keeps talking about the team that would displace us would be City. I don't see it. I haven't seen it. Like in the last everyone talks about our last 7 games or so, and I think they've mirrored our results, or they've had one better result than us. So they've cut the 3-point lead that we had to, it was like 7 to whatever it was. But yeah, I just don't see them doing what everyone's saying we're going to do. As bad as we are, it's more so I just don't see them doing what everyone's saying they're going to do. I just can't see it.
Why can't you see it? What is it?
We haven't seen it this season. It's not what they've done.
But City don't usually start the season. It's how they finish usually. City are great at finishing, especially when it's in title races. They're not really traditionally great throughout the whole season. It's when they start to do the clutch thing,
Okay,
the
so
Gundogan's,
there's 10 games left. City usually go on like a
crazy run,
20-game run. So this, what we're talking about, would have
nah,
started.
not 20. Not 20.
Their run would have started already before now, or would have been starting by now. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They win the league with a game, 2-3 games to go. They're not using all those games. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So we should be around the time when this run is supposed to look the most monstrous. Have we seen that? No, we see them doing what we're doing. When we draw, they win. We win, they draw. It swings around about. That's why I'm like, I get why you can be upset at Arsenal. But when I'm looking at the competition, I'm like, okay, there isn't really anything else out there. So that's really where my confidence comes from. It's not necessarily how great Arsenal are. It's more so I just don't think there's anyone else in the ballpark of where we are.
Well, the only thing, I guess the only point that I would contend, to that is that in the first half of the season, that was the case, where City were dropping points when we were winning, as well as inversely. But we have just seen since the turn of the year where we had, where we had a point margin as high as 9 points, it has now been dropped down to, what are we at currently now? 2-3 points?
5 points, but if they win their game in hand,
we've only gotten 12. We've only gotten 12 out of the last 24 points. That's the reason why they've been able to cut that lead down. Coming into the game against Spurs, we only got 9 out of 21 possible points. That's the whole reason why the lead got cut down.
Right.
Listen, I agree with what Capo said.
It wasn't 9 though. It was never been 9. It was 9 for like 24 hours.
No, it was 9 out of 21 out of the last 21 points.
No. I mean, the gap was never 9. Well, it was 9 for like until they played the next day. I think we played on Saturday. They played on Sunday. So it wasn't really.
No,
9.
I'm not saying that the 9-point lead got cut. I'm saying we've only taken 9 points out of the 21 possible going into the Spurs game. With the Spurs game added, we've now taken 12 out of the last 24. I agree with what Capo's been saying. I've been saying this since October. This ain't the same fucking City team. Again, if they don't have Kevin De Bruyne and Ilkay Gundogan bailing them out anymore, which they've done time and time again. Again, like I've said multiple times, City fans should kiss the ground those guys walk across, because if
Gianni, can I ask you a question? Sorry to cut you.
What?
Do they need them against an Arsenal team like this?
No, well, that's the $1 million question at this point, because the problem is, at the end of the day, is one, Arsenal and City are basically playing hot potato on who wants to win the title. That's where we're at this current point in time. This title should be over with. This title race should be over with. Let's put it in full context. If you get more of what title champions normally do, around 14 to 15 points instead of 9, that Wolves game is just a mere bump in the road, and we're still on to win the title. That run is the whole reason why this is even a title race anymore. And we've been saying it since October. The biggest problem for Arsenal has been scoring goals. We've spent £1 billion over 6 years, and we are right now in contention for, I think we've lessened it because of the 4 goals against Spurs. But going into the Spurs game, we were on pace to possibly have less goals than the Leicester City team that won. And that team was supposed to get relegated. So the fact that we've spent £1 billion and we're not scoring goals, for me, is the biggest problem why we've even made this a race. The service that Gyokeres got in the Spurs game, and the ability to what Eze can do if he's actually allowed his freedom in the number 10 role, we are going to go and win this league. I have confidence in that. But if we go back to this, Gyokeres needs to be this false 9 and more build up and all this bullshit, when he has no first touch to begin with. All the guy is supposed to leave the ball in the box and let him score. That's all he's good at. We've known this coming into the league because all we said at the beginning of the year is we just need a bagsman to replace Havertz. And now we're trying to overcomplicate things. If you give a little bit more freedom to this team like we saw in the Spurs game, we're going to play better football. And that's also what we've been asking for, and that's also going to carry us to win the league. City is not convincing. Let's be honest about this. Haaland, everybody makes out because Haaland had that one season that he doesn't go through droughts. He does. We've just seen him go through a drought. And we've also seen that even with Semenyo, the biggest question with City is that back line. They can score goals, but they can also give them up, which is where we don't give up a lot of goals because of how much better our defense is right now. The question is if we get the offense running, we're going to win the league. That the problem is we're complicating that, and we're getting, and it's the same thing that we said. The biggest problem isn't the fact of the squad going up against City. It's Arsenal versus Arsenal. It's will Arsenal get over the line finally and that mental block to finally hit glory. That's the biggest problem. If we get out of our own way and simplify everything, I got full confidence. I said it on Sammy's show. We're winning 2 trophies this year. I think we're winning the League Cup in the Premier League as long as we get out of the way of ourselves, because we're getting in the way right now to why this is even a title race. And it's a mixture of things. Again, fatigue, not rotating, Arteta holding on to favorites. That's the reason why we're having this conversation. We don't have this conversation, and Eze actually was playing consistently, and we were servicing Gyokeres, we got a 10, 12-point lead at this point.
So so my concern, is that our results have been so intermittent, this season. And we know how this club reacts to pressure, and we also know how this club loves to they know how to turn on, they know how to turn up rather, for a match, when they want to, right? And that's always been my problem is that this club turns up when they want to. Yesterday's match against Spurs, North London derby, that is a match that that every Arsenal squad will typically turn up to. We have a very important match up against Chelsea coming up. Are they going to be turning up for that in the same fashion? We're going to be going up against teams that are going to be that are fighting the heat of relegation, like West Ham United. Are we going to turn up for that game as well? As Gianni had correctly said, if we get out of our bag, or more so if Mikel Arteta gets out of his bag and he starts utilizing Eze and Gyokeres to the extent that they should have been utilized all season, if we know how to defend, we don't know how to score, and until we can start demonstrating that we can put 2, 3, 4 goals in a match, past the opposition, I'm sure that a lot of people, including myself, can take a little bit more peace and calm from that. But at this stage, I'm only, as sad as it sounds, and it is PTSD, I'm waiting for a shoe to drop. I'm waiting for I'm not yearning for it. I'm not hoping for it, but I am anticipating several injuries to really come and bite us in the behind. Whether it be Jurriën Timber, or even Declan Rice for that matter, because both of those players have been have had serious minutes this season and have not been rotated to the extent that they should be. As well as Arteta just trying to force his own players back into this squad when they have already proven time and again that they are not up to task. Substituting Eze yesterday, that is completely unexcusable. Completely inexcusable. Eze was not only on a hat trick. We also know how much this manager loves records, right? How much how much he loves the spotlight of having a certain record. As far as I'm aware, Eze could have been the first Arsenal player to score a hat trick against Spurs in the home and the away leg, and that would have been a pretty significant feat. it's always like those little variables that this manager offers that always gives me pause, and why I'm still unfortunate under the belief that we're not going to be winning anything. I want to be proven wrong. Still waiting for it. And time will only tell.
Hear it. What you guys got to say towards Arteta's comments on Eze? He said that Eze was upset with him. And he wanted him to. I'll have to find the quote. What he said actually.
Yeah, pull that up. Bring that up on full screen.
I'm so unorganized today, man. It's just embarrassing. But you're gonna have days like this, man.
Yeah, that was a weird comment.
Let me just bring this up. Hold on. Some Fabrizio's thing. I might freeze as well while I share it. So.
Oh, big fella, you are way ahead of that already. You're already frozen.
I'm probably frozen already, man. Sorry, guys, man. You know what? I'm suing some of these. Anyway, I don't even want to start cussing, to be honest. Right. Mikel Arteta. You could see that Eze wanted to prove something. He was upset even with me because I didn't play him the other day from the beginning. And some of the decisions that I made, I've started to understand how we're going to get the best out of him now. So,
better late than
what
never.
is anyway? Anyone can chime in, man. I'm leaving you, man, to talk today. I don't want to talk too much.
Look, I mean, all I'm going to start off with saying is that only taken this man 6 months to finally understand a concept. Like that in itself is embarrassing. But I mean, like we also know how much of a telenovela actress this manager is as well. Again, and I'm sure that now he's saying this because he's getting a lot of heat and pressure as to why Eze hasn't been starting or why Eze hasn't been getting like the game time that he should have been getting like all season, or why even for this manager has been treating players differently based off of whether or not he likes them or not. That creates inequity and a friction in the dressing room, especially when you have players that are underperforming, like a 29, like a Lacazette with cheekbones, like our sweet dear captain Pillowfoot. Like everyone always says, oh, players have to earn the right to start. Okay, so then why are Mikel's pet favorites always starting when they're not performing? Meanwhile, we had players like Eze, who was a league-proven player who should have been able to hit the ground running, and suddenly, like as soon as he walked into this club, he has dropped off a cliff. So, yeah, I know, so toxic and negative. God forbid, analyzing things, piece by piece, Gunner Street, and big up to you. I'm sure.
Big up to Gunner Street. You see Gunner Street, yeah. We don't just leave things. You know what I mean? Yeah, because I know visibly against Wolves, you were upset. Yeah, you man went quiet while we still keep speaking. We still keep it real at the end of the day. We can talk about these things because at the end of the day, it's not just about when you're bad. You can criticize when you're good as well. You can talk about things where things can be improved. And I don't feel that what the manager said about Eze, because you don't hear him talk about no one else except for Eze. Eze, the first game he played, he should have scored that. He was in a position to score
Liverpool.
That. He gets dropped after this Villa game for that defensive lapse. I can't remember 4 games or whatever he got dropped. And now he's telling the public, you can tell he was upset with me. All of this kind of stuff. I'm sure Odegaard may have been upset with you when you were saying that you tell him to pass the ball forward, but you didn't say nothing about that. So we can talk about these things. We're football guys. We're content creators. We can sit here and talk. Yeah, this is my channel. I talk what I want to talk about. But chime in, Johnny. What you got to say about that? About the Eze thing with Arteta?
He's just covering his ass. That's all it is. His job's on the line. You don't think? Okay.
We'll do that in a bit.
Odegaard has been let's say out of form going on 2 years, probably by the end of March. Odegaard was not only the guy that he chose to be captain, they say the team chose, but I would think the team would take Gabby or Rice, but that's a conversation for another day. Odegaard has been the subject of the main talk of controversy for about 2 years, going on 2 years now, about him being out of form. The other thing is that what from a lot of people say is that Eze wasn't a Arteta signing, it was a Berta signing for possible looking towards more of the future of Arsenal, of possibly after the Arteta era, because there was maybe a thought that he may not win again. There's been that thrown out there. At the end of the day, what I don't understand with Arteta is you go with the hot hand. That's the rule. Odegaard's been shit. Eze's been one of the best number 10s in the Premier League for what, solid 3-4 years now? Doing this thing over at Palace. So for me, I think it's just him covering his ass. If Eze was really going to be a threat to Odegaard, he would have put him out there. He's been playing the favorites game and it's been hindering the team. I think that's pretty easy to see. Because I've been saying, how long have we been saying it in the chat that I've said Odegaard shouldn't be playing for this team anymore, unless he's a rotation guy. He should be gone at the end of the season. I don't give a shit if he just got the last assist in the game with Spurs. The guy's been shit for going on 2 years now. His fall off started when we lost the title to City in 24-25. Actually, no, longer than that, 23-24. At the tail end of the season, especially them 2 back-to-back losses against Villa and West Ham, he's been on a downturn ever since. And part of it is also because of the way that Arteta's changed that we've played the game since the 22-23 season. Because Odegaard from the beginning of 22-23 to March of 23-24, he was one of the best midfielders in the league. There's no getting around it. Scoring goals, getting assists, and doing defensive work. There's no getting around it. Once we started going more defensive, we saw the decline of Odegaard. And now, because Eze's fresh legs and Eze is quicker on the ball as far as touches and creativity, Eze's the hot hand, Eze should be the starter. And maybe, hopefully, Arteta is realizing that that's what he's doing, especially because we've changed the formation to a 4-2-3-1 now to push Eze further up and not play in that same defensive role that he put Odegaard in. So him changing the formation to allow Eze to play should be a sign that he's realized that Eze is the guy that he has to go with through the end of the season. Because Odegaard, I'm sorry, man. We go with him, we're not winning games with him. We're drawing and giving up more points.
I'm not gonna lie, yeah. I just need to get this off my chest. After the at the very end of the Spurs game yesterday, and Gyokeres scored, and I was happy. Gyokeres ran to the corner. I was happy. Odegaard was like on his back. And I didn't know Odegaard had the captain's armband, and I saw it in that moment, and I got so annoyed. I don't know what it was. Yeah, I was so pissed off that he was wearing the captain's armband.
Wasn't Saka captain yesterday?
Yeah.
So yeah. Saka gave it.
He must have. I don't know what happened, but I just saw the captain's armband, and I was so annoyed. And it just reminded me when you was talking about Odegaard. I don't know. When I'm seeing things like that, you get the captain's armband. When it comes on, like it just makes me lose confidence in this team.
Yeah, Gunner Street's in our group, innit? So he's missed a positive, which you know what, that's fine to be like that. But I just want to
brother, you can be positive all you want. The reality and the facts are the complete different, though.
Yeah. So Gunner Street, we've just shown a quote by Arteta, what he said about Eze. Yeah. Now you can look into it as much as you want to, or you can just ignore it as much as you want. Yeah. But the main fact is, that Eze is probably our most fittest player right now. He's last game, he scored 2 goals. So surely going into the next game, that's probably building confidence. Now, Odegaard at this stage for me now is a finisher. And you can argue about his role in the team, whether he's a 10, whether he's a deep player, whatever, deep midfield player, whatever, playmaker, whatever, dictator. You can argue that. The thing is, both of them are competing for that position. The problem that I have, and you said that Eze can't play every game. Eze's not played enough games this season.
Exactly.
He's not played enough games. We need to integrate him into the team now, and he needs to play as much as he can. Now, you can play games and come off, at whatever, 80, 90, 80 minutes, whatever. But he needs to play the Premier League games right now. He needs to be the starter in this team. I'm not having this bringing in Odegaard in certain... No. Eze needs to be the main man. And the number 10 in a team has to be the main man. Yeah, they have to be the main man. Cherky for... Man City, he's the main guy. He's the main creator in that team. Foden's not the main creator. It's all about Cherky. So Eze needs to take that role now, and we need to integrate him now to the end of the season. Yeah, and Arteta's got to stop with his stupidness, talking rubbish.
He needs a run of games as well. Like I said, I agree with you. He needs to be in the team constantly for it to be his team. You can't
Havertz
just
isn't even fit for us to be having this conversation.
Exactly.
Nor
Not
only that, just so I can attack just before I hear more nonsense. If we want to go down the bullshit GA route, Eze has less minutes and more GA across all competitions than Odegaard has. Let's throw that out there too. So before we go down some fake revisionist history bullshit, no. He's got less minutes, more goal involvements across all the competitions than Odegaard. I'm not hearing this no more.
And also, icing on the cake and a little cherry on top too, Eze has more to prove over these next few months simply because his World Cup squad place is in contention.
Odegaard's going no matter what.
Correct.
Yeah.
And also Eze has always been a lifelong fan of the club. The first thing that he wants to do is to be a part of a squad for Arsenal that is lifting up silverware. But additionally, he has the passion, and he also is far and wide more just more of a better 10 than Odegaard. It's just simple facts. And as we, I've been saying it for time. Like, this manager has done anything and everything. And that's also facts, Taryn. You're absolutely correct. We had even seen. I think it was the game against Leeds. We were already beginning to see Eze and Gyokeres click and link together. Imagine if this manager has played them consistently over a run of games. We probably wouldn't be having this conversation today.
Look how much faster the offense is when he's in there.
Yeah.
It was Wigan. But look at the quick 1-2 touch and passes that he found for the goals in the Wigan game. That's what you need for a guy like Gyokeres. Again, and anybody who thinks that Gyokeres was bought here to be this fancy-footed striker didn't really watch him at Sporting and was listening to whoever's bullshit that were lies that they were spewing on the internet. All he is a guy that finishes. And when you have all he is a guy that finishes, you want a guy with the passing ability and how fast that the offense can move through Eze in order for that to work. 10 touches to stop the ball, look sideways, and give the defense enough time to get back in their shape is not what we need for Gyokeres to work.
And the last point that I'll make, so that I can allow Capo and Waffle Don to come in. Throughout time, we have always been saying we always create chances, but we have no one to score those chances. Now we bring in a striker whose literal modus operandi is to score those chances, and then as soon as he comes in, we don't feed him. That math does not math up.
And here's another thing to add to that, with another reason why, because Odegaard's been ran into the ground. Look at what AFC put in the chat. That's a real stat. Yep. The sensible signing that everybody was talking about at the beginning of the season has only played 36 minutes. This is why we need rotation. Anybody who wants to deny it is just lying to themselves. Go watch Declan Rice when he's limping up to the corners.
Yep.
If you don't think fatigue is starting to set in on players to why there's been the mistakes recently, you're lying to yourself. That's why Eze needs to play. Eze's quick-footed. He's getting the team into a different gear of playing offense than what we're used to with Odegaard. So this shouldn't be a debate. And here's the other thing. For Eze, if Eze was to come in, take the spot from Odegaard and lead us to a title, Eze is arguably on a 2-year stretch that's better than most players in the league. Because not single-handedly, but majority was responsible for that FA Cup run that Crystal Palace had. And then him taking the spot away from Odegaard now till the end of the season and possibly going on to win at least 2 trophies. He's showing out. And again, the old rule is always you play the hot hand. Why are you going to keep trying something that hasn't worked?
Great point.
So wait, a big up BBK in the chat. So
yeah,
are we saying that Norgard must have been like Eze, an Arsenal signing, because they seem to be treated the same?
I think it's more of the case of Arteta thinking that he has superior talent ID and then realizing, that this player isn't up to par, after he sees them more more person, in person and training. Yep. And unfortunately, again, no one this manager is very predictable when it comes to transfers, and and only this manager can somehow find a way to bring in talent that is a downgrade on what we had previously. Because let me ask you this, are we taking Mohamed El Neni, or are we taking Christian Norgard?
Man, that's the bottom of the barrel argument there.
Well,
they both suck.
That's exactly my
I'm
point.
taking Norgard, man. Seriously, man.
Norgard. I'm not taking on that.
Yeah, Norgard.
I take Norgard because of the physicality aspect, but on the ball, El Neni's better than him.
Okay, hold on. No one is scapegoating and trashing Odegaard when we need him during the run-in. We have already had him in the run-in. 22-23, 23-24 last season. Give me a break. He has already been composite of this. He has already been composite of this squad and composite of the reason why we're not getting over the line. He's a shit captain, shit player, and the only reason why he still has the armband, let alone seeing pitch as a whole, is simply because Arteta is trying to prove everyone else wrong that he knows better.
36 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. If he's so class, why aren't we seeing more of him? And additionally, are we also just rating Norgard just simply on recency bias?
No, Nani was pretty damn bad.
He was.
Norgard's 36 minutes has been he's looked good. So to be fair, it's why not give him some time? Give him more time.
But we're talking about a captain, for Brentford, that Brentford's over the last couple of seasons, under Thomas Frank, they've been a good team. Let's not think, and maybe we've not seen enough of Norgard, and I don't watch I would never watch Brentford inside out, but it's one of them ones, isn't it? It's like modern day football requires this type of player, like a Norgard, isn't it? Norgard, from what we've seen, he passes the ball forward. El Neni used to do the crab thing, But this, I don't think it's about compare. I don't think that comparison really matters.
Trying to compare, it's not even about a comparison.
It's not about
just
a comparison.
Use rotation.
Yeah,
it's just saying use rotation. What's the point of spending? I say this all the time. I swear, Premier League fans are spoiled because of the amount of money that's in circulation in the Premier League to just always say every year, let's go out and burn another 60 million. If you were a fan of any other league, it'd be a hard awakening of what it's really like to not be some club that's like this, bro. And that's a part of the reason why we need to stop giving all these extra handouts to Arteta and actually call out the freaking bullshit. Because, again, it's about the rotation. If you're not going to rotate, what was the point of bitching about not having a big squad going into the summer? Because remember, that was the excuse last year. The excuse last year was, we knew we were thin going into the season when we had all those injuries, and particularly when we threw away the 2-0 lead over Villa at home. That's when all that conversation came in because of all the injuries. So that was the excuse last year. Now all of a sudden you got a bigger squad, and now you got people coming out saying we're rotating too much and he needs a smaller squad. Brother, it's one or the other. It's one or the fucking other. Utilize what you have. We have a deep enough squad and a good enough squad to win this fucking league. I think we all agree on that. It's once again, is the manager going to get in his own way again? That's the problem at the end of the day. One of the easiest things is Eze needs to play over Odegaard.
What's this? When you're the same one that says Eze.
Brother, he hasn't played. He has not played the same amount of minutes. What are we talking here? Let the kid go. Let the kid go. I don't understand what you're on about with this. What has Odegaard done outside of a recent assist for Spurs to guarantee him to get constant minutes again at this point? We have no games this week.
Get your ass on there, Gunner Street, man. Come on, man. You might be
No
no
games this week.
Millie Rock.
No games this week. Everyone gets a rest. Eze should be starting this game next week. No questions asked. No questions asked. And here, if you want to talk about rotation, let Odegaard play in the Champions League and let Eze play all the Premier League games. How about that? If you need to get Odegaard that much in there, because we need to win this league.
So Eze's had 23 appearances, nine subs. So that's not bad. That's not crazy. Nine subs is mad, isn't it? Yeah. Well, no, it's in the Premier League. In the Premier League.
Yeah, 20. So he hasn't played 5 games out of the league. So bring it back down from there. So he's missed 5 games, and he's got 9 substitutions.
Yeah, I forgot about
What are we doing here? He should be starting the rest of it. We're trying to go for the Premier League title. Eze should start every single Premier League game. If you want to give him, if you need to start him in the League Cup final, then
I'm not ducking the smoke. I'm not ducking the smoke. I'm here. First of all, I want to address one thing, brother. I've been on stream with Don for a time. I've told Don Eze needs to start and a run of games. I've said it on my previews for a time.
That's true.
That's not something I'm against. When I'm saying is the same way how you man would say Zubimendi is fatigued. We need to rotate other guys in and out. We need to rotate somebody for Timber. Eze cannot play. And even if you love Eze right now, he will not be able to play every single game until the end of the season. So when you guys getting on here slandering Odegaard is nonsense. I'm not saying you get on here and say he's been the greatest ever, but I'm saying the same way how you guys talk about pillow foot, say this and that about a guy. He plays for this Arsenal team. Anything he does for this Arsenal team ultimately takes us forward, takes us where we want to go. No, am I lying? Guys that want us to win trophies, is that a lie?
How many times has he done it?
Yeah. Out of curiosity.
He's
no. We're not doing this business.
And last,
how many titles has he won? How many titles has
anybody in this team won?
Eze's got him. He led his team to a title last year.
You guys rate other players in this team.
dragged Crystal Palace to win the FA Cup last year.
Brother, that was that Palace. That was that Palace.
Doesn't matter.
For him. But
showed up when it counts when Odegaard does it.
Do you rate Gabriel and Saliba?
Yes.
Do you rate Gabriel and Saliba?
Yeah.
What titles have they won?
Because we can't score.
What titles have they won? It's nonsense when you man talk about trophies. We're talking about football. The same aesthetics you guys talk about. We're talking about football.
Trophies,
Come on, man.
Trophies,
You man get on here and chat rubbish, bro.
Rubbish. The aim is to win trophies. The aim
is to win trophies, but aren't we competing on all fronts for trophies this season?
Right. And what did I say before you came on? Eze should start every single Premier League game. If you want to get rotation.
He literally cannot. Because when he inevitably burns out, like you criticize all these other players for Arteta doesn't rotate the squad. He burns out this player. He overuses these guys.
Brother, at the rate that City is going, we're not going to need
at halftime. He was hooking Odegaard at 55 minutes. I've not forgotten that. He's been hooking, man. So when man come on here with this narrative, it's nonsense.
They haven't been playing all season.
Brother, listen. Eze has more minutes than Odegaard this season. Eze hasn't had a run of games. And Eze will get a run of games this season. Yes, he should have been playing more. I agree. But again, he will not be able to play from end of February till May, week in, week out, because the legs aren't going to carry. If he plays Champions League, Premier League, and FA Cup, do you think guys think that's possible? Look at Timber. Do you think that's possible?
Timber's played
Look at
almost every
Saliba.
single
Look
game.
at
He hasn't
Saliba. Look at
rotated.
Gabriel. This team has
Yeah,
picked
'cause
up
he hasn't
injury after
rotated them.
injury. We
Because he
cannot
hasn't
sit here
been
and say players
rotating
play
them.
full games. That's
Gunnar,
impossible. It cannot happen.
Eze
Talk-
played 34 games last season, and he had three subs.
Again.
So you know what?
That's 34 games. But how many games? Arsenal already played over 40 games this season. We're in February. We're gonna play over 60 games potentially. 60 games. And then what happens next season when Eze goes to the World Cup? What happens when Eze comes back?
You said
Eze's hamstrings are torn. Like
so
Saka,
you said that Eze.
who
So you
run
said
to the
that you
bone.
agreed with us about Eze starting, right?
Say that again. Sorry, bro.
You said you agreed with us about Eze needs to start in more games.
Yes, I do think Eze needs to start.
Yeah,
Yes,
you
I
said
agree.
that. You have
Well, let
to
me
say
ask you this question. If Eze starts majority of the games at the beginning of this season, don't you think we've already won this league?
I mean, to be honest, I can't say that. I think we perform better.
How?
No.
How?
No, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I can't say that.
Okay.
I've watched Gabriel give away goals. I've watched Zubimendi give away goals. I've watched Rice give away goals. I've watched Saliba give away goals. I've watched Raya give away goals. I've watched everybody. I've watched the front line miss chances. Saka, Gabriel, Victor Gyokeres. I've seen us be wasteful in every position to a man. So I can't just say one man switch. We wipe this league away. I do think we'd be better improved in some games. We'd have probably better performances. But I can't say this league will been put away. That's not. I can't just sit here and agree. Take out 1A, take out 1B, and we'd be perfect because that's not how football works.
Brother, it's not about being perfect. It's about what the results show. The results show that our offense is better when Eze plays. The results show that Manchester City has just gotten back into this title race because we fucked up. Not because they've been good, because we fucked up. If Eze starts at the beginning of the year, first of all, the part that you're leaving out is that, yes, we missed chances. We weren't creating enough to even miss chances. That was the problem with the offense.
I agree.
With Eze starting, we have more chances, and with the proven striker that we have who's starting to show through,
I agree.
more chances are coming.
And
this
again,
league is over and done with. It's done.
We can't say it's over and done with. And here why I'm telling you why.
Brother, we win all the games that we won if we play Eze.
For example, brother,
Liverpool game we win.
Brother,
Liverpool game we win.
For example, we didn't have Odegaard against Wolves. That's bottom of the table.
I'm not talking about Wolves. I'm talking about before Wolves.
But it doesn't matter. But that's one. But I'm talking, brother. Listen, that one. It might be Wolves. No, it might be Wolves. It might be Wolves in midweek. But who's to say the results aren't different against Villa? He started against Villa earlier in the season. We lost that game. What happened there? We didn't create enough chances against Villa. We played well in other games.
Yeah, but I suppose he started on the left, which
my thing is right with me. I love Eze. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it to feel like I'm coming across and I'm slandering Eze. I'm down for Eze. I want Eze to start against Chelsea because I want him to hit form because I believe as a 10 in and around the box, he could be a difference maker for us. Because I want to see us lift trophies like us all. However, I don't think it's fair to come on here and say a slander Odegaard when we know he's probably going to have an effect in the running. He will. Whether that's in the Champions League, whether that's in the Premier League, and whether you guys can agree with it or not, there will be games where we're going to have to, the same way how we relied on a Christian Mascara, the same way how we're going to rely on Norgard in the Cups, the same way how we relied on Victor Gyokeres and Jesus. We have to use the squad. And don't like him now. Fuck it. If we sell him, have the slander. Go at Odegaard. I don't care. But for this season, bro, we just came off the back of winning 4-1 against Tottenham, and we're on here talking about respectfully nonsense, man.
No.
It's not nonsense.
The Eze stuff isn't nonsense though,
because if he starts Odegaard next week, against Chelsea and we drop points, this win doesn't matter.
No. This is where you got me. If he starts Odegaard next week, I think Eze has a big claim to say, manager, you've lost my trust. That's something the manager would have to be and I'm someone that backs the manager. The manager will have to be crazy to not give Eze the run of games, especially him going in.
That's the whole reason why we're having this conversation.
But we spoke about this already.
But again, the thing for me is
he scores the hat trick against Spurs, and then how many games did he miss? He scored the hat trick against Spurs. He scored the hat trick against Spurs, and then he didn't play for how many games? That's my example.
I don't remember how the games flowed just after that, so I can't. I don't.
Oh, the games flowed. Big fella. Eze went missing. Eze got iced. Eze got benched after that hat trick against Spurs. Like that's exactly what we're saying.
It was like 3-4 games. That's what we're saying. If you're going to give somebody the rotation, again, play the hot hand. What I'm saying here right now, based off of what we've seen in recent games, Odegaard does not start over Eze in all these games as of fucking alliance.
I hear that.
Odegaard has lost the starting position. He has.
As of right now, I hear that. Yes.
As of right
I hear
now,
that.
he's lost it. Eze needs to be starting Chelsea. For me, the next 3-4 Premier League games, however the schedule goes, Eze needs to start. Because
I agree with that.
Because
Hey, Waffle, you need to pause your screen,
City
bro.
is not that team.
Bro, it's because
People
I got
are
Twitter.
overhyping City. This isn't the same City team in the
Pause,
past.
yeah?
City's going to drop points. As long as
Yeah.
we have Eze and the offense starts flowing the way it's supposed to flow, instead of this long, slow, sideways bullshit that we've relied on.
But let's not sit here and act like every game Eze has played, he's pulled up trees in the 10.
No,
Like,
but
he
his
has
playing
not.
style is what helps Gyokeres.
I want to ask you guys something quickly. Yeah, if Kai's available tomorrow,
No.
does he
he
start?
doesn't. He doesn't start. He doesn't start for me. I don't think he can't come in from the corner.
We've had enough of that. Please, just do me a favor.
Doesn't he work with Gyokeres? Because a lot of people think that them two are working together. So that's why I'm asking.
You go with the hot hand. You go with the hot hand.
Yeah, I agree with that. You have to go with the hot hand.
Here,
I agree with that.
here.
From that
It's
perspective.
haram. It's haram for you. Here, I'll ask the doc because it's not haram for him. If you're going to put money on the game, if you're going to put money on one of those players for the next 5 games, however much money you want to put on a spread across 5 games, who you betting on? You betting on Eze? You betting on Odegaard? Or you betting on Havertz to do shit?
Well, I think you know what the obvious answer is, and it's certainly not trusting any of Arteta's pet favorites because we have already seen time and again. We already have precedents. We got 2
straight seasons of guys proving they don't show up when the money's on the table.
Right. Like personally, I'm not a bona fide retard to be backing players that have already proven that they're not up to par.
I feel like it's a little bit harsh on Havertz to say that. Say what you want about Odegaard, but I feel like that's harsh on Havertz, to be fair.
My G, I'm sorry.
I do think it's been harsh on Havertz, to be fair.
But this man has been in the league. He was a proven failure at Chelsea.
I don't care what he's done. I don't care what he's done at Chelsea. What has he done at Arsenal?
Nothing. He hasn't won anything.
He's not good enough for
okay,
this.
Well, listen. You hear what you just talked about, Gianni? Keep that question. Who would you bet are having a run of games and doing shit? Since Havertz has come back into the team, I think he's had but 1 game or 2 games where he doesn't have a goal or an assist. I remember 23-24. He had a stretch of games where he had 15 GA in 16 games. Even in the season where he fucked his knee and missed half the season last season, he was the highest scorer, highest goal contributor.
Yeah, but
Kai's not
going to be a gunman for us, though, is he? He's not a gunman.
I'm not saying he's a gunman, but if you keep him on the pitch, he is proven. If we're talking about put the spread on someone and the odds, he's someone that's shown he can affect the game, whether you like it or not, whether that's off the bench or from the start in multiple positions.
He can affect the game, but not for our benefit.
I'm not saying start him over Gyokeres or consistently start him over Eze. But if we're talking about a guy who this season and in seasons prior has shown the ability to affect the game with GA, respectfully, out of those 3, it's got to be Havertz. And we might
when you bet, you go on somebody who wins.
Got the stats proven.
Right. You bet on somebody who wins.
I think you guys' opinions are quite close actually. I don't think you'll disagree, and I just think, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what? Yeah,
I don't think there's too much disagreeing here, but yeah.
With the Havertz thing, do you know what's mad about it is if there's any game where I would just drop him in, it would be the Chelsea game. So like when you guys said that, I agreed to go with the hot hand always, but then for me it's like with Eze against Tottenham. Now I feel confident that even if he hasn't played all season, you could drop him in against Tottenham and he's going to do a thing. I feel like that's the same with Havertz. But then again, it's about management now because... Go on.
No, keep going, bro. Sorry, keep going, bro. I didn't mean to cut you.
No, I'm saying it's about management now. So these decisions of will be very telling, you know, how the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's going to be very telling of the manager. Listen, if we're going to go off this season, Havertz deserves to get in over Odegaard if he's going to be anybody who's going to be in the midfield to replace Eze. But again, that drives home more so the fact about what I mean about trash and Odegaard. Because the bar has been set that low that a guy who's missed the majority of the season is better than him in a couple games. That's the problem. That's the problem of why I'm saying Eze needs to start way more over Odegaard. And if you want to rotate, you rotate him with Havertz. I'll concede that. But I'm not giving it back to Odegaard. I'm sorry. The man's lost his position. He's lost his position over the last 18 months, going on 2 years. The only way he'd be able to get this position back is if he goes on a madness. Which
I don't believe you. The fact that they gave him the captain's armband, yeah, to me doesn't read well. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think he's lost anything. It wouldn't surprise me if he starts the next game as captain.
The assist, right?
It wouldn't surprise me if he starts the next game as captain. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine. But again, that shows the problem with the manager because again, you're still not going with the hot hand.
Right.
Yeah, mismanagement. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's my problem. This Arsenal has to get out of their own way. If we get out of our own way and we simplify shit, we win the league. City's going to drop points. We have shown that we've been much better this season at not dropping points. Last year, the season was already we were already 10 points behind Liverpool before they pulled away?
Yeah.
Liverpool ain't there. City, yes, they're better than what they were last year. But do you really think after that game against Newcastle and everything else that they're not going to drop points? Their defense is suspect as shit.
Yeah.
And all it takes is one game for Haaland or nobody else to score, which we've seen plenty of times this season where they don't score enough because the defense is shit or they don't score at all. I don't think that City's going to be the way is going to get over us if we simplify things. That's why I'm saying Odegaard, no. Put him more. If you want to put him into the team, he's now the sub for Zubamendi to be more deep lying. But offensively, no. Offensively, no.
Does that work for you, Gunnar? Does that work for you?
That's something I've asked for the beginning of the season. So, I mean, I don't think, but again, this goes back to what you guys think about the manager because, again, I'm someone that's behind the manager, but I've seen enough to know that the manager is not going to play. He's not going to play Odegaard there, Like, I'd be surprised if he does. It'd have to depend on the opposition, but I don't think he's going to play Odegaard in Zubamendi's position, which is why I have gotten to the point where I'm saying bring Odegaard.
Zubamendi's position and Odegaard would be in the 8, isn't it? I would have thought.
I mean, it depends. It depends on how the manager wants to set up. We haven't seen it, so it would be fresh. We didn't get to see Lewis Skelly because of injury. I was interested to see Lewis Skelly get in the 10, get in the midfield.
Somebody else.
I'm open to that as well. I'm open to really anything, honestly. But again, I'm not on here. I love Odegaard. I'm not going to concede that. But again, if Odegaard can't play and that's what we have to do to lift trophies, fine. However, though, I don't want it to be a case where it's slander Odegaard. You guys might not think it's slander because you're giving your proof. I hear you guys. But for me, there's going to come a moment where I know he's going to come alive and give us something in a massive game where we're going to need him. And hopefully he does that. But man,
if he doesn't, are you down to sell him?
I didn't hear you. Say that again.
If Odegaard doesn't do shit the rest of this season, or he is mad inconsistent, whether we win or not, will you be then there to say you got to get go?
But let me tell you this. I'll concede this. Him being the captain, Eze being the number 10, and Havertz being one of his favorite players, it already puts Odegaard in a tricky position if he doesn't play in general. So it's a bad look already that the captain can't start. What is the guy who's the captain, image-wise, gonna do? He's gonna want out, or he's going to want more minutes. So that inevitably leads to him stepping up his game past the Eze, past the Havertz, or he's gonna leave. And that's not me sitting here being biased. This is real. I'm already to the realization of if
he doesn't raise his level, like you're saying, if he doesn't raise his level, like you're saying, and he stays the way that he's been, if he doesn't raise his level, and we go on to win with him not being a major part, are you conceding that he needs to go?
Yeah, because I mean,
that's all I wanted to hear.
You can't have him like that. However, I do, and again, I think where we disagree is you guys might not see him get into that level, and I think because he's been so injury ravaged over the last 2 seasons, it's hampered a lot of his, and I think the manager stylistic has also hampered a lot of his style as well. But I'm not blaming it on both of those things. I think he, as a person, has to improve. However, we're going to have to wait and see. We're just gonna have
you know what it is gonna go over this. I'll let you come in after Dr. This. You know what it is though, yeah, and this is also PTSD with injuries as well, yeah. We've had players in the past on good money, yeah, that have just rinsed out the club, yeah. Money.
I agree.
Jesus as one of them. We can go back in time. Wilshere, but I don't think he was on major money back then. But it's come to a point where, you know what, yeah, players are injured all the time. You can't do nothing for us. Then it's coming to that point where you have to move on. Now, you've not heard me cussing Odegaard today, so don't put me on you lot, yeah?
No.
That Odegaard comes on as a finisher in the game. I don't believe he's a starter at the moment. But I believe, last 5-10 minutes,
tippy tappy, whatever nonsense, he can do that to the end of the season. Especially if we're ahead. It all depends on the game as well. If we're ahead in the game and like we're cruising 3-0 up or whatever, then he can come on for the last 5 or 6 minutes or whatever it is. But for him to start right now, I think that's a big risk at the moment.
Yeah, I do agree. But my question to you guys is, what happens when, or not when, because I don't necessarily want it to happen, but what happens if Eze reverts to type of what we've seen majority of this season?
That's a good question.
Odegaard comes off the bench in that same finisher role like you're talking about, Don, and he gets an assist here, gets an assist there. Maybe he gets a goal or two.
He earns his way back.
Okay.
It's brother. Listen, I'm trashing Odegaard because this has been the problem with him for almost 2 years now. Let's be real. Since we had the back-to-back loss in the 23-24 season to Villa, where he missed open chances and then missed chances against West Ham, when we lost those 2 games and it gave up the lead, since then he has been on a run of form like this. It's been a downhill form. That is why I'm saying Eze has earned the right to start. If Eze goes back and fucks up and Odegaard is on good form, again, you play the hot hand. We got to do whatever it takes to win.
I agree with that.
Unity here.
I agree with that.
Why I'm cussing Odegaard is because Eze has had better glimpses this season than Odegaard has in a long time. And that's why Eze deserves to start. That's all I'm saying. And it goes for the same thing for any position. If Timber's got to sit for 2 games because he's injured or he needs a rest, Mosquera needs to start and we need to risk it because it's all about getting to the finish line. The marathon is more important than the sprint.
And additionally, we have seen how lethargic and geriatric our attacking play is when Odegaard is on the bench. Sorry. Like rather like when he is on the pitch, rather like like being the conductor, like in the final third. It is very much like Tim Lewis hairstyle, U-shaped football around the final third, and ultimately, it's why teams are able to park the bus simply because we are so slow in our transition from defense to attack. I'm under the belief that 22-23 was a flash in the pan. It was a statistical anomaly and an outlier for a lot of these players because as we also know, form is temporary and class is permanent. I have seen enough 10s at Arsenal just in the Emirates era alone that Odegaard can't even get into the same room with. So I apologize, but I also don't apologize. I'm not going to be rating someone who is just not good enough for this club and who has also not been able to replicate the same kind of form in 22-23 since then. Injuries or not, Jurriën Timber had a massive ACL injury and he has come back since then, as if he never had it. So even Michael Olise as well. He also had a massive injury and he has also bounced back from it. The fact of the matter is, this manager has been protecting Odegaard, and as a result, he has been sending all of Odegaard's competition away. Whether was icing Emile Smith-Rowe, claiming that he had an injury while he was still starting for England's U21s, whether it was a matter of Ethan Nwaneri, whether it was a matter of Max Dowman, whether it was a matter of Eberechi Eze right now, this manager intentionally gets rid of those players' competition just so that we can have the impression that, if we don't play Odegaard, what are we going to do next? The fact of the matter is, we have to stop protecting players that are just not good enough. You can love players however you like, but there are some players, and unfortunately Odegaard is one of them. They have done nothing to earn such affection and admiration.
I hear you guys. You guys have your opinion, but for me, all I'm saying is there's going to come. My point all is today. Mm-hmm. There's going to come a time where Eze might not be pulling up trees, or Eze is tired in the run of games, or because we haven't seen Havertz consistently, we haven't even seen Odegaard physically. We're gonna need one of those guys because I was against the opinion alone and no Ethan Nwaneri. I was against that. I would have kept Ethan Nwaneri. However, we don't have him. So those guys behind the Eze, even if Eze is your starting, you love Eze. We know and we've seen Eze too. We also have to be blunt and be real. If Eze can't go in certain games, or he's fatigued, or he's just not good enough, these guys are going to have to step in. And yes, these guys are going to have to raise the level. But I do think Odegaard, and I believe in Odegaard, you guys just maybe not believe it. That's where we kind of disagree. And I can't change that. He has to go change that. So I'm not asking you to change. He has to go out there and perform to a level that if we need him when the time comes, he has to step up. And I think if he does that, he will probably get back into this team. But that's ultimately wait and see kind of talk. So you can only just move from here.
People, I think we're going to leave it there for this week, unless you guys have anything else to say.
Well, I mean, like, we didn't even get through your entire agenda, so I don't know. You tell me.
Didn't we? Hold on. Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Hold on. Never have a doctor around, man, because they're just like attention to detail and everything, man. Okay, yeah. So the next thing, and I'll just
wait before we move on. Can I just say this thing? Because I was just listening to you guys talking on Eze, yeah. And I don't know. I know Don. I know you said you played, but I don't know if the rest of you guys like play football or anything. And someone mentioned the amount of games Eze played last season, 34. And like 34. Yeah. And this season we've already played like 40 games.
Yeah.
And I personally, like, I started playing football late. Like, I started playing football at like 17. And when I started playing football and I starting, and one season to the other, the amount of games you play has a massive effect on you. So, like, if one season I played 20 games and then next season I jumped up to 35 games, by the 24 game mark, I'm feeling like I'm done for the season. Do you understand? So, like,
well, look at
that makes a difference. So, like, Eze has never been in 4 competitions going for like 60, 65 games. That's another part of the man management of you're gonna have to start him during the season, and as years go by, you fill in those gaps. You can't just be like, here's 30 games at the beginning of the season, because the rest of the season is gonna look like a dud. That's what will happen. Because he's never done that. And then and also I just want to think, like, I rate Eze, yeah, but I rate Eze, yeah, but at the same time, he played for Crystal Palace, and the expectation at Crystal Palace is completely different. He could be quiet for the whole half a season, and in the second half of the season, step up, score 5 big goals here and there, score against City, score against Chelsea, score in the FA Cup, and that be looked at as a great season for Eze. But if that was an Arsenal player that did the exact same thing, it wouldn't be looked at as that. Like, so there's the difference of going from like a mid-table team to going to a big team. His expectation, like our expectation of him, he's never ever fulfilled that, and we can't just expect him to just come in and just be that, if that makes sense. So there is that side of the man management that I don't just leave out. Obviously, I do agree that I don't believe the man management has been great, but I do take into account that there are other aspects of this thing that Arteta can't just be like there's medical teams that get involved and all these other things. So there is other aspects that I feel like that we have to take into account when it comes to Eze. But
I think what we're doing here is we're saying the same thing, but our timelines are different to why the misunderstanding. All I'm saying is that if the man management and Eze would have gotten that starting position early, like we established that all of us agree on, right, Gunnar? We said that he needed to be playing more at the beginning of the season. Yeah. With the way the season's going and how it has gone, all I'm saying is if Eze would have got more games at the beginning of the season, I think this league is done.
Potentially. My thing is, I can't fully argue that. I can't fully to say yes or no. I can't even agree with you or disagree with you. That's just me personally.
That's fair.
However,
that's fair.
I do think from a aesthetically point of view and how we play football, maybe attacking wise, maybe we're a little bit better. But again, we're still the second highest scorer in the league, even if you do think Eze hasn't played enough games. So the goals compared to the rest of the league are coming. And I do think Eze has been a part of that, whether he's came off the bench in some games and shown flashes or from the start. So either way, like I agree with what Capo said. It's difficult for a man to come in and be consistent because he's a step up to a new club. That pressure of the price tag, the 10, let it all work out. And you see, everyone loves Eze. Everyone wants Eze to do well. But again, I don't want that.
And we all expected that as well. We expected Eze to just be good. We expected him to just come and be good. And the reality is that might not be the case.
Yeah.
And I do feel like some of the man management might be protection. Some of the man management might be protection. I'm not saying that's what it is, but I'm saying and someone come to say he's an awful company, but no excuse should be in the league. And
you're breaking up.
The thing is,
you're breaking up, Capo.
You're breaking up, Capo.
Are you glitching?
I'm glitching out. Hold on, let me turn my volume down. Am I glitching out still?
And your mic's quite loud as well, you know. Turn it down a little bit, please.
He got it.
It's pretty loud. I was down. I think that was me.
No,
it's too low.
What you guys are saying, I'm not disagreeing with. Like I said, I think we're saying the same thing. It's just the timeline of what we've been saying is where we're misconstruing what the other.
I agree.
Listen, like I said, my opinion, this is not the same City team. This City team has been allowed to come back into this title race.
That's been my biggest problem with it too.
That's
been my biggest
what I'm
problem
saying is if
we've
we
allowed
go
this to be a race.
if we go based off the fact that we've allowed City to come back into this title race, had Eze been allowed more games at the beginning, going off what we've seen when he plays and that the offense is faster.
You can make that argument. You can make the argument that it could be over it. You can make the argument.
That's
saying that we would have got the points at okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, you think we would have built up that points gap at the beginning.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that we've got the timeline mixed up. Now, because of what I'm saying as far as that, I'm saying now, based on what he's doing, now we have to give him more minutes.
Give him the hot hand.
Because he's the one.
I agree. Right, I agree with that though. Right now, he deserves to start. And I said it. I said it from Brentford game. I thought from Brentford onwards, I thought he should be having a run of games, even if he's might not been pulling up trees. Give him the confidence. Okay, you didn't play too well today. Go again. And if it's 2, 3, 4, 5 games on the trot and it's costing you, or I don't want it to cost us, but it's already cost us multiple points. Can't afford any more of that. But if he plays well against Chelsea, give him again. If he doesn't play well against Chelsea, I still think you give him again. Yeah. Because you can't just let him play well, play his one game.
The same thing with
Odegaard. I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
Because then that also stops you being hot.
Yeah.
If you get good and then automatically you get benched, now you have to restart the form again when you should just be going.
But that's part of the manager's job. That's part of the difficulty. So we'll see, because that's a difficult conversation to have with your captain. It's a difficult conversation to have with your new signing number 10. And it's also difficult to a guy like Kai Havertz, who's going to look and say when he gets back fit, well, manager, out of these two guys, to be honest, when I've played this season, I'm getting more goals and assists on average when you compare my minutes to ratio than these guys. So I think I'd also deserve minutes. So we'll see what happens when all these guys are fit again, because Gyokeres is performing now. I want to see Gyokeres hit the numbers because I'm really happy for him, to be honest. I hope he kicks on and does well for himself this season.
If he kicks on, we walk the league. I'm sorry.
I think so too.
I agree.
We walk the league, and like I said, the way he needs to kick on is the service. Best service we've seen is him with Eze, Saka. The only question, I guess, for us to have is who the fuck plays left wing, because that is a god awful position right now for us.
It's a mixy, to be honest. That one, it's mixy.
I mean, we could just play win the therapy dog there. She has more bite and drive.
Quick question. Do fans need to be a bit more humble when, because a lot of people saying we're winning the quad and we're doing the treble. Do we as Arsenal fans need to be a little bit more humble and stop talking about these things and just get over the line with a trophy at least?
Is the Pope Catholic?
It's a two-way street.
Yeah, I agree.
Every single fan who's a fan of a big team is going to talk shit that they're going to win titles. That just comes with it. On the flip side, though, the problem with Arsenal fans is when we start talking about Saka's better than Lamine Yamal, or fucking players are better, or they're trying to hype up players to be 10 times better than what they really are. That's your two-way street when it comes to fucking talking shit as a fan. Come on. When Roman Abramovich came in and gave all that money to Chelsea fans was talking shit every fucking year that they was going to win a title. Now, granted, they were backing it up because the team was doing it, but that's what you do. Manchester United did the same thing. City fans have been doing the same thing since the money rolled in and they started doing it. So that's a part of the game. Everybody who's a big team is going to talk shit about winning a title. Because even the small teams that talk shit when they're in like a cup run, and if they're the hot team that nobody wants to play in a cup run, they'll talk shit that they're going to pull the upset. So when it comes to titles, it's just part of the game. Yeah. When it comes to talking about players, like when they're starting to say that fucking David Raya is on the same level as Buffon, that's where the bullshit comes into play. That fans need to chill out with that.
Has anyone actually said that though, Gianni?
Yes.
Where have you seen that? On Twitter, right? These Twitter.
I don't even have Twitter. I've seen it on Instagram. I've not personally
heard that.
Heard that crazy. I'm not even dealing with Twitter. I'm not dealing with that.
I've heard that craziness. But I do think fans. I'm not gonna lie. It's hard because on one hand you have rivals talking down your ear about how all your players are shit when you know your players aren't shit. So again, you try to overcompensate by building them up to a level, and then when they don't hit that level, it makes you look a bit stupid. So I think that's just how fan nature is. So I agree with Gianni. It's just difficult as a fan.
Yeah, trophies.
Just hoping the guys back you up.
Big up, Sammy.
Big up, Sammy.
Big up.
Yeah. So look, you know, like I think so. Like so, my perspective on this is that even in my own personal life, I've had to work for everything that I have to my name. And one thing that I've said is that, you know, don't count chickens before they hatch. Now, so now the thing is that, you know, like we have already been at this stage years and years ago. Whether in the scenario like of being top of the league in December or January, and looking poised to getting over the line and winning the league. We saw it in 2002, 2003. We saw it in 07, 08. We saw it in 13, 14. We saw it in 15, 16. We saw it in 22, 23. We've seen it in 23, 24. So, like, we already have the experience of seeing this club, like, being top of the league, you know, like at Christmas, at New Year's, and not be able to win the league simply because we always find a way to falter around February or March. Or even for that matter, just 2 years ago, when we were top of the league in week 36 and still didn't win the league. So, you know, so at the end of the day, you know, I think it's absolutely critical that, you know, that there's nothing wrong in being quietly optimistic. That if the team does get over the line, then great, we can celebrate it. But simultaneously, like if we start walking the chest about how we're going to be doing quads and how we're going to be walking the league and how we're celebrating like a parade in November, like when we still don't see armpits in May, like I would personally, I would rather be wrong, and I'd rather be wrong to be proven right than to have all of this chest just to end up being proven wrong. Because at that stage, I then have egg on my face saying, rather after chatting all of that nonsense, saying how we're going to be doing X, Y, and Z, and we ended up not winning X, Y, and Z.
But I think you could show confidence without getting too overly confident. I think you could still believe in your team winning the league, but you could just say, I believe in the team winning the league. But again, we just have to wait and see. I don't think nothing is wrong with you being a fan of Arsenal and saying you believe your team could win the league based on whatever you want to base it on, whether that's defense, whether that's attack, whether that's whatever you think, whether City's not good enough, whatever you think. But I think you could have the confidence behind your team and have that confidence about whatever player you like, and still be level-headed and not too much have egg on your face. Because again, you're not an oracle. No one here is an oracle. We don't know what's gonna happen. We can go on and win the league by 15 points from here on out if City just do a madness and just fall off a cliff. Who knows? No, I don't think it's gonna happen, but who knows? I'm saying you can have a perspective that's optimistic and still not have egg on your face. That's just my perspective. I don't think every time a take goes wrong, you have to look like an idiot per se.
Yeah, that's how it should be. That's how it should be. Just not like I said, the overhyping. Who is the idiot? Oh, I don't know if it was Shane's show or if it was Views. Somebody posted up and they had it on one of their shows where there was like a few different Arsenal fan groups trying to say that Calafiore is going to be on the same level as Maldini. That's the type of
where are people doing that? Like that's the type of stuff that I just.
Well, that's why the hatred. That's
my God.
Why of the hatred for the Arsenal fans is because of that.
29 is
when I see things like that, I just assume it's banner. That's not real.
But that's such a small group of fans. I've not even met these people or talked to these people genuinely in any conversation. So
there's a lot more than what you believe
than you're making it out to be.
That's craziness. I've never heard that.
There's a lot more nutcases in the Arsenal fan base than a lot.
I don't know if you guys could pull it up though, but AFC always had a comment. He directed at me, but I don't know what you guys think. He said this squad is overrated. Do you think this squad is overrated, guys?
In certain factors, yes, definitely.
Yeah. In certain factors, yes.
Like what, defense?
What factors specifically would you say is overrated?
When you talk right back, two center backs, we have the best in Europe. We have the best center back pairing in Europe, and defensively, there's not a right back anywhere close to Yuri and Timber. Those are the best. Okay. Raya is a good shot stopper, however, he's clumsy and is always good for a mistake randomly as we've seen. Left back, I think Nkapia is a solid left back. I think he's won that position over Calafiori, in my personal opinion, especially because of the injuries. Odegaard, like I said, as of right now, I think he's overrated and he's lost his spot. As I said before, when we started the whole Eze conversation, Eze's been one of the best number 10s in the Premier League for the last few years. He's played well. You got to give him his props. Rice, listen to me. I think Rice and Zubimendi are playing out of position. I like that he went to the double pivot against Spurs. However, for me, I think Zubimendi's better as the 8, and Rice should just be an old school English number 4. Rice is one of the best defensive midfielders in the game. If you simplify his game to protecting the back line, tracking back, winning the ball in the midfield, winning the aerial ball, and then letting the offense go and do their thing. I personally think Rice is one of the best in the world with that. Possibly even top 3. Saka, the problem with Saka is I think Saka's still nursing injuries from last season, which is why we haven't seen, because Saka's game was all around that first. Saka had one of the best first step bursts of pace there was in the game, and he used it all the time, which is why he was going crazy. Now that he's had his injuries to his legs with the hamstring and everything, he doesn't have the pace, or at least that first step, which is hurting his game, which is why he looks a lot slower in the offense this year as opposed to the 2 years where Saka was going crazy for us. So Saka has gone down a step. Gyokeres, I don't think he's overrated. I think he's been used improperly. Again, he's not a good first touch striker. He's an old school bagsman. You just put the ball in the box and hope that he's there to finish. That's all he does. He's not a good holdup of play. He's not anybody who thought that he could play similar to that false 9 shit that we've asked Havertz to do. He can't do it. Nowhere close. The left wing, the best was Trossard over the last few years because Martinelli's fallen off a cliff. But I think they've opened it up to interpretation and maybe even see if Jesus could play there a couple games, because the left wing the last few games has been god-awful. Martinelli has missed I don't know how many fucking goals in the league. Trossard, he's been off. He was huge at the beginning of the season, but he's hitting his patch where the form goes out the window. Everybody does it every season, but I don't know. For me, is the squad overrated? No, it's a very good squad. It's if there were adjustments made by the manager now, I think we still win the league easily, because I don't believe in City like that. But if you keep daring City to take the lead in the points the way we have and the way we've played in certain games, I have a gut feeling that if City does take the lead in the league, they're not going to give it back and leave it up to chance like we have. That's my only problem with this.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I would even go as far as saying, I mean, like, I think it's worth analyzing that. So because we set up so intentionally defensive, I mean, like, so I just want to be clear. Like, I very well highly rate, God bless it, Timber, Gabriel, Saliba, and Nkapia. And personally, that for me is like my back 4. From here on out. I've been a massive fan of Nkapia always, like from his time as a youth down in Ecuador, and I'm absolutely stoked that we had signed him. However, it is worth considering that because we set up so defensively, intentionally, right? So now we have like the back 4, but we also tend to play with like 2 DMs as well. Like that is going to possibly create a statistical outlier where we look better defensively than how we may end up being. It's not to say that I don't think those players are underrated, but I think the system is intentionally designed to make us look defensively better than how we are. I personally don't rate Marino. I definitely don't rate 29 or Pillowfoot. I think they are overrated beyond belief. I mean, like, again, like the easiest way that I can contrast, like Pillowfoot is, is comparing him against the likes of Hleb or Rosicky, Nasri, or Arshavin, or Zorla, or Ozil, and he's not better than any of them. And unless someone else suggests otherwise, I'm definitely here to have that conversation. And I would even say the same with, even the same thing with 29. Like people comparing him to Bergkamp. I mean, like, give me a break. Man's not even good enough to touch the shoes of Robin van Persie. We all have seen players in this team over time who would be getting into this squad today. You know, even if today I would still be taking Ozil and Aubameyang starting in this squad right now. Yes, clip that up, ladies and germs.
And
you know,
Sanchez.
And didn't even get to Alexis Sanchez, right? You know, and I'm sorry to hear this. You know, again, like, look, Saka.
We really walked the league.
Oh yeah, it would not. Like, it wouldn't even come close. Yeah, like Sanchez was absolute class. But it's also worth mentioning that Arteta got rid of those individual, you know, like players that can change games and grab a game by the scruff of the neck, simply because whether, you know, like, I find it very telling. There was there was a Sky interview that that Arteta had done roughly maybe 2021 or so, and we're talking years back, and he was asked to describe players by one word, and the word that he described Alexis as was chaotic. You know, like as opposed to hungry, as opposed to just dynamite. Because again, like Alexis was dynamite, and if he was in this squad today, it would be lights out. I think, you know, like again, like this team and this manager, they have everything to prove. The onus of responsibility to demonstrate that they actually are class and not just pretenders. Like, the time is now, especially now than ever, where we are doing so well across 4 competitions. We need to be seeing armpits. Have to be.
I agree. I don't think the squad is overrated for me. I do think what I would say is when all these players that we might say or might not be to the level, I think when they're on their level, they can start in this team. And I think compared to other teams, like you talked about, Gianni, we unlike other teams on the continent, have the privilege of having a deep squad, having the money to go and buy certain players to add to a squad. So, for example, we've seen Noni come in for Saka when he can't step in. We have an Eze before when we didn't have him in seasons prior. We got Havertz not even in the squad. We have Ben White, who before his injury was one of the best right backs in this league, who's not even in the squad yesterday in the North London derby. So for me, I don't think the squad is overrated. I do think we have options and guys to call upon that we're all, well, for me, I don't know about you guys, but I'm all comfortable if they get the start. When you talk about pairings, that's a little bit different. But individually as players, I can say, okay, he's not a shit player. I don't expect him to, you know what I'm saying? I believe we have a deep enough squad compared to other guys on the continent, which is why I speak the way I speak about the team lifting trophies. So I think we're all in some sort of agreement that trophies need to be won this season, and that the squad is to a level. So I don't think the squad can be necessarily overrated, because if it was overrated,
let me
be
put
talking about
this
trophies.
to
They're definitely going to win.
Football Rig, yeah, to Sammy, yeah. Does this squad lack ruthlessness to go on to win major trophies?
No, I don't think it lacks ruthlessness. I think the profile of players that we have are quite defensive. I mean, you guys named Hincapié and Timber. I do rate them defensively. Don't get me wrong. I think they are very solid defensively. But going forward, they do slow us a little bit down, in my opinion. And, you know, if you look at the last decade of the Premier League, the thing about the Premier League is the attacking style is what actually wins you the league. And it's no longer the defense, no longer the days of Sir Alex Ferguson, no longer the days of hit and smash and run by Chelsea. And this is why we have a lot of profiles that are defensive. Plus, the manager is asking a lot from our wingers to track back. And that kind of, you know, takes a toll out of them in the game. I mean, if Saka keeps tracking back, if Trossard keeps tracking back, and Gianni said it best. I mean, when you are defending, you are exuberating more energy than actually attacking and keeping the ball. And you have to consider that. The players cannot keep doing it for the full 90. I mean, he has to fix up somehow his tactics to get the best out of our attack, because we are limping in the attack. We don't have a left wing. I'm sorry, Trossard is just gone. Martinelli is worse. So I don't know. Even I don't even entertain the thought that I have to play. I don't want to entertain the fact that I want to play Eze on the left, right? And let's say Havertz is back. I don't know. I mean, I have seen him a couple of times there.
Just Jesus, brother. At least his time in City, he was better as a winger than a false.
That's true. That's true. I would go with Jesus. I would go with Jesus, because the small sample that I've seen Eze play as a left wing, he didn't really look convincing. I think
what about Noni? What about Noni on the left wing? He started the season there,
bro. He started
awful,
he
hasn't really gone.
When he played on the left, when he played on the left, he wasn't that convincing, in my opinion.
Not at all. I agree with you.
The thing that I like about Noni, he's a different. If you keep him as the rotation player for Saka, or he starts over Saka in some games for the rotation, but mostly Saka's going to start. He's a different profile of player to Saka.
Yeah.
Saka's going to be more of a slower, more methodical winger. If a fullback's tired around the 65th, 70th
Bring on
minute,
Nani.
you bring Nani on to bring that pace. We said here the Brighton game when he came on, when Martinelli skied the shot over the goal in the dying minutes, Nani tore the whole game up because everybody was tired. Again, now if you apply that to now keeping Gyokeres in longer, those are those sitting type of passes that need to be given to Gyokeres for him to bang the goals. So if you're tied 1-1 late down, you don't take Gyokeres out. You keep the bagsman in there. You bring Nani in to start giving those passes into the box because nobody can stop him because he's fresh and just because of how fast he is as well. But he creates those openings for Gyokeres to get the shot off in the penalty box. Those passes, you give 5 of those passes, 6 of those passes a game to Gyokeres, he's bagging at least 1, probably 2 a game with his goal scoring record. We just haven't played to his best ability the whole season.
And I think the 2 points that I would make, I would not be opposed to seeing Saka on the left wing. I don't think his future is going to be on the wing any much further, just because he has lost that pace as a result from that injury. But I think I would prefer him to be on the left wing.
Doc, he's 24 years old. Doc, he's not 34.
Well, Jack Wilshere was also 25, 26. When his career started to go on a decline, just because he was also getting run into the ground. I mean, we're looking at a very potential similar scenario here, just because this manager has not managed Saka's rehabilitation well enough, after his injury and recovery. What I would also say, even to
emotional damage.
What I would also say as well, I would not be opposed to seeing a 4-4-2. And as you had referenced, Yanni, diamond 4-4-2. If we were to reorient the formation, even just for a little bit, just for say one game. I mean, granted, we should have been doing it at the onset during say preseason, just to be able to see the viability of it. But if we are changing up the system just a little bit, so that for example, we are playing with 2 strikers up front, I would be more open to the idea of Gyokeres being paired up with say a 29, or even Gyokeres being paired up with Jesus. But but there has to be some type of change, simply because the formation and the tactics and the directions that we have been seeing over time have not been providing the fruit that we need to see, and we should have, and this league should have been wrapped up already by now.
Yeah, but getting back to the point where he wants to play Madueke on the left. Sorry, Waffle Don, but I haven't seen really players that are, for example, left wings and left-footed at the same time. I mean, they just don't work out in nowadays football. I mean, where do we
I mean, Rafinha is probably the only type, but he's such a different kind of winger. Such a different.
You compare Madueke to Rafinha.
I'm not comparing him. I'm saying we're talking about left-footed players that play on the left. So I'm just using that. You have to use him differently, is what I'm saying, to get the best out of one of those players. I'm saying if he does play Nani on the left, he's going to have to use him differently compared to a traditional beat your man, put in a cross type of winger than what we see in modern football. So that's the only thing I would say.
But I guess to that end, under Arteta's regime, which attacking player has been consistently good?
Nobody.
I would say Saka has been consistently good before his injuries. I would say consistently good. How do you mean consistently? Because for example, Gyokeres, he's starting to get good, but he started the season pretty shit. They're always growing into it. Do you call that growing pains into a new team, a new league? Same thing with Havertz. I thought Havertz has progressed well and done well for Arteta specifically. Do you call that growing pains when he first started into what he's become now? So I don't know what necessarily you probably argue.
I think consistency means probably season after season, and I don't think Gyokeres.
So I think it's probably Saka specifically as attackers.
Saka's the only one.
Yeah. I mean, to that end though, wasn't Saka already performing at at a certain level before Arteta had arrived, and then additionally, so I guess even a good question for that matter is at what
So you're saying he had the talent basically.
At what point do we credit players' growth for based on their own accord versus managerial tutelage?
Well, if they're
I
young
think
for
Saka
one,
was
you
just-
have to go with man. You can't just say, "Oh yeah, he just became great."
Yeah,
So,
I agree.
For a young player, I guess you would point towards that. But then it gets to the point where if they're a little bit older, which I get what you're saying.
Saka's the only one. Saka's the only one.
It's the only one, yeah.
Only one.
But
And I don't think any of the
Giannis
other attackers that have shown quality have been here or long enough to really say they've been consistent for a long period of time either. Like, for example, if let's just say Gyokeres goes on to bag 25 goals this season, he goes on to have another 10 more goals in all counts this season or plus. I would say that's a good season for Gyokeres, especially starting. He only blew up like turn of the year. If he goes on to do it again, I think not only I'll make the argument. I think not only has his overall game improved from when we first got him, but no, he's starting to add the goals. Because even when you look at his performance yesterday, the link-up play was there, the touch was there, the cutting inside was there. I would have loved him to bury that first chance.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. He wasn't doing that necessarily when he started. So I can't just say that's not down to manager. I think some kind of development, whether that's tactically or whether that's him improving his own game, has to go into that. So I don't think there's some guys that are improving, but I don't think
I disagree. I disagree about your curse.
I think it's the tactics. When Eze plays and we play a 4-2-3-1, the offense is quicker.
Or Eze, yeah. If Eze kicks on too.
Real quick question. As far as watching football as the beautiful game, most entertaining, the best entertaining football that Arsenal's played under Arteta was when we got Trossard from Brighton when we were blowing the doors off of teams in 22-20. Since then, the way we've played, the layout of how the team looks in attack has changed. We've gotten more rigid. Our setup is further away from the box than what it has before, which is why it's affected everybody all around. When Saka and Martinelli were the wingers and Trossard played the false 9, dropped in deep, Trossard did not score a lot of goals, but the motherfucker had 8 of his 11 assists in the first 6 weeks that he was with Arsenal.
I do remember that first game he was on form.
He won Premier League Player of the Month, was about to win it for a second month in a row. What did he do? He rushed Jesus back from the injury, upset the whole balance of the team, and we went 1 win and 7, and we gave up the 8-point lead to City. Since then, we have gotten more rigid defensively. Sammy, we said it on your show. Waffle's been there. Doc's been there. Again, it's more rigid defensively, which is taking away from the ability of the other forwards. If there was less of this overall defensive push, if you went a little bit more forward and more relaxed in the forward line, we would be blowing the doors off of teams. Yeah. Again, why is Hincapié further up the pitch than Martinelli or Trossard when we're playing out from the back? Why is Timber further up the pitch than Saka at times? Why is Saka all the way back in almost a fullback, a wingback position? There's no need for it. When they play further up the pitch and when they play more in the center, Arsenal is 10 times the better team going forward in attack than this whole wing-to-wing bullshit. When we are more central and more direct, we score goals for fun.
I agree with that.
Let me ask you a question then, because we're talking up our team quite a lot in terms of attack and stuff, yeah?
Brother, look at the numbers. The numbers speak for itself.
Yeah, no, and this is my point.
That season because he's more in the center. That's what I'm saying. When
this is taking me to my next point. We're both on Arsenal and City are both on the same league goals right now. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can we go to the Etihads and go ban for ban with them? Yes. Is this the right time now to just say, you know what? Shackles off.
I think Pep is going to be defensive. And you know what? I feel like Pep is going to be defensive anyway.
I want to agree with Capo.
To be attacking.
And I think the season where we ended up tying when we got that stupid Trossard red card, I think we were on to beat them at the Etihad too. Yes. I think there have been times we really had City, and I'm talking about home and away. And I remember there was a New Year game. It was 21-22. Top of New Year, where they ended up going on to win the league, where I think Rodri scored the winner in that one. We had them to beat at the Emirates. So I think, yes, this whole narrative of Arsenal beating City and we have to go there and beat them. Yes, I want to go there and beat them because that's a big monkey off your back. We haven't won there in since 2015.
You need to win there no matter what.
I think you want to go there and win, but I think we will, man. We've come
points in
close
that
enough.
is if we're back up to 7-8 points clear is the only way that it's okay to go to the Etihad and drop points. That's the only way.
We really know what, regardless of what everyone else thinks of Arteta, we know what Pep thinks about Arteta. So we already know, like, he showed us clear and simple exactly how he rates Arteta and how scared he is of Arteta
and City know they can't open up, because if they give away chances to Newcastle and Fulham and get them to be in 5-4, imagine if they open up to us. We know we can smoke teams when they open up. So I think if they open up to us, even if it's at the Etihad, we can get 2-3 goals there. I definitely believe that.
Yeah, but do you think Arteta will do that? I think Arteta will respect them too much, like we did.
No,
for the
I know. Again,
that is
the question that we have to wait and see. It depends. Does he trust the team enough to go there, open up, and play that football? Does he think it's smart enough to open up and play that football? When we went there a few seasons before, with Calafiori scored that mad goal, I thought, to be honest, we were good and we played well. We were better than them in that first half, and then we sat back and we had to see we did what we tried to do. We tried to see a game out. So if we come back and with that same mentality, I think we can win there.
Do you know how I think Arteta is going to set up? It's going to be based on that game, the final. If we lose that game, he's going to go all out in that
and blitz them.
City game. He's going to go.
I think you should go all out and blitz them in the final. I'm not before to get the Premier League game. I think for the final, I think you go and you try to crash it on them. I think you really try to go and you try to play and you show that you're the better team than them. I don't think you approach that game in a low block and you try to reserve and you try to pick your moments. No, I think you go there. That's the better. I think Arsenal's the better team. I think Arsenal's a better team, and you go there and you try to show football. But I think Sammy, I think I agree with you. I think for what we've seen over the course of Arteta is that's his revert type. He's more pragmatic than he's more adventurous. And I think going back to what Gianni said, the context of 22-23, us being so good, but lost the league when we've been so good attacking wise, kind of hurt him and made him think, oh, fuck it. Well, I have to do anything I need to win. And it's made him go into more pragmatic. However, I think since that Man United game, I do think there's been an improvement in terms of stylistically how we want to play more vertically, getting the ball into Gyokeres early, having Eze more in the game, and this is why I want Norgard to get more minutes, just because that forces you now to see, okay, if Norgard is playing the ball through the lines in the Prem, Declan Rice and Zubimendi have no right to come on and not try to play those same passes, and especially if it's working, because Norgard will have to come back into the team. So that's why I say, if you continue to improve and you continue to put goals on the board and you continue to beat these teams, and if Eze performs well, all the better. But if we continue to put that level of attacking football out there, there's no reason as to why we shouldn't go to that
BK, get your ass on here, man,
and try to slap them up. That's just my perspective.
That's true, but you know what? First of all, we got to play Chelsea first.
Of course.
Then we're gonna play Brighton,
of course, and Everton,
and also we're gonna play against them in the final, right? Yep. And that final, I think, will be quite. That's when I'm going to start judging Arteta, how he's going to approach the game based on that final, because that final is going to be a big game, right?
I'm focusing on the final before even the Premier League game. My main set is the final. I want to win that final personally, and I want to win it. I want to win it by any means, whether we win it a 1-1 on penalties, 0-0 on penalties. I want to win, but I do think you have to go into that final and you have to prove, you have to at least show yourself that you can beat this team. You head up, you can go and beat that team. That's just my perspective. I think you have to do that.
Agreed. Agreed. Laws, what the fuck?
Why for that? Why? Yo,
before
we move, Doctor, you said
that comment was mad. That comment is mad.
Why?
That comment is mad, bro.
Yo, Doctor, you mentioned something about the like how we're gonna. I actually tweeted this a couple of days ago. This is a bit off topic, but I feel like football is going to go back to having two strikers up top. I think someone mentioned playing a diamond with two up top. I actually feel like that's like you guys, some of you guys look a little bit older. You guys will know like how trends and go through cycles and they just go around and then start again. And I actually think like in the next 5 to 10 years, like having two strikers will be like the standard again.
Well, so if you look at the young managers like Xabi Alonso, Amorim, they are considered to be young managers, right? In the world of managers. And look at the lineups they play. They're all playing with the back five, 3 defenders, wing backs. You know, that's how they approach. I don't know why they are going back to that kind of formation, but I don't see any manager playing with 2 strikers since what since Thierry Henry and Bergkamp? That's the last time I saw two up front.
You know what's interesting though?
What are you talking about? Xabi Alonso played with two strikers at Leverkusen. Just because it was a 4-3-3, Boniface is not a winger. He played with Boniface. He played with Boniface.
Boniface is definitely a striker.
Yeah, he played with Boniface and Schick, and Wirtz floated beneath.
Close for behind. Yeah.
Well, Pep playing with Haaland and Mamouche at one point.
That was Frankfurt. They played 4-4-2. But it was same.
The only thing is, why I don't know.
Even like Gyokeres and Havertz for me is kind of like a two up front.
I don't know. Well, we're set up right now. I don't know if it's gonna work.
If you pair, are you saying like pairing him up with like a hold up play striker because all he is just a finisher?
I mean, I'm not even giving a suggestion. I'm just saying like.
I'm asking you like if you're saying Gyokeres with a second striker, are you saying the other striker that you would like pair with him? If you're saying second is like more of a hold up play guy because Gyokeres is a finisher, he's not a.
No, it should be a different profile.
So like, I mean, personally, I'd like someone that can be a finisher, but also a hold up guy. If I'm being honest.
Yeah,
in an ideal world, in an ideal world.
In an ideal world, you know.
See, but, like in a way, we already kind of play that way. If you look at how everybody with the 4-3-3 plays, you really do go down to two strikers. It's just it depends which side the ball is on with the winger. For
Look at the Gyokeres goal, the first goal. Eze is like the screener for the goal.
Yeah.
Eze is the screener, so yeah.
But if you look at, Klopp, when Klopp had Roberto Firmino as the false nine, he dropped in deep. Mane and Salah came into the middle. Yeah. Same thing when inside wingers. Same thing with Slot last year. Same thing. Darwin Nunez they weren't depending on. And Luis Diaz was dropping in and playing false nine with Gakpo coming in across, or Gakpo was false nine and Salah was still coming across. When they go into the attack, the wingers are more central. That's what I'm saying is part of the problem with Arsenal. If you look at the way City's offense has worked and you look at the way Liverpool's offense has worked in these title wins, look at the starting positions of Mane and Salah or Salah and Gakpo or anybody from City. They're more center and closer to the box than where we are. We're starting them off as touchline wingers. Again, Saka and Martinelli, when they had the best goal-scoring season with 22-23 combined, they were starting on the edge of the 18-yard box rather than the touchline. That's part of the problem to why our offense is so stagnant. When these guys are able to get into positions where they're more central, that's how we're able to blitz teams.
But I think the truth of the matter is right now we're in the middle of a transition where we're going kind of like you guys talked about, going away from wingers being the main goal scorers, even though it was just last season that we saw Dembele and those man get bare goals. But no, we're seeing Haaland get goals. We're seeing Igor Thiago get goals. We're seeing all these strikers now in the Premier League go back to being the main source of goals for their teams. So I think we're kind of even entering a transition period even this season. So it's kind of hard to really pinpoint what's necessarily going to work because I think managers are trying to find that out on the fly right now.
What do you mean by transition period? Delve into that. Give me
just because I think what Capo and Doctor said, you're kind of seeing this two striker kind of thing get back into the modern game now. And when you guys suggest a diamond, I don't think a diamond necessarily would work because a lot of teams now set up in a 4-4-2 with 4 banks of 4, and that stops you from trying to play middle, which is why Arsenal have been trying to get the width. As currently constructed, if we were to play a diamond, I don't think we have enough guys in that midfield to give us enough width, and then you probably ask Yuri and Timber to get further up the pitch, leaving space in behind, and Capia to get further up the pitch, leave space in behind. So you're going to have to, I guess, buy more players that fit that profile, fit that system. And I guess adapt players who we already have to fit that profile and fit certain systems. So I don't think currently constructed we might see that, but I'm not disagreeing with the fact that Gyokeres might benefit with having a second striker up there. I think other teams can also benefit with having a second striker up there next to them, just because teams having to play out from a low block and a high press are going to have to force the ball along, which is what we're seeing Arsenal do. So I think it's a transition period. So we're going to have to wait and see what overall style of football prevails and who takes that transition into the next couple of years, because I think we're starting to go away from maybe the wingers being the highest goal scorers in football nowadays.
You know, I would actually almost contend that I'm not sure if we're ever going to see two strikers ever again. Oh boy. But look, and I guess we're I'm coming from that perspective that, you know, like is that like over time we have seen both traditional 9s and traditional 10s being removed from the game, or even more so like rather like those classic 9s and 10s that we were always familiar with growing up, they have been melded into one false 9 role. So I truly do wonder whether whether or not like in the future we're ever going to see like a proper 10 and a proper 9, and I know that all of us can list them right off the tongue just because we had grown up with that. We had grown up watching some of the best 9s and 10s that that the sport has ever seen. But I think that managers have gotten too comfortable with the system as opposed to getting the best out of individual players. And I don't know.
That's also a little bit true too.
Yeah, I think it's going to require managers who are going to make bold decisions and who are also going to do things differently, like how, for example, Xabi Alonso did differently over at Leverkusen. That was very much like a deviance from the norm. Whether or not he takes hold of things is going to be a different story.
Where's that echo coming from? Where's that echo coming from? What? Hello?
Yeah, now it's
No, it's gone.
Now it's gone.
So I don't know, man. Like I miss a classic 9. And Gyokeres, for what it's worth, he resembles the most traditional 9 that I have seen in a very long time. Yes, he does not create his own goals. Frankly, I don't care. We did not bring him to create his own goals. We brought him in to score the chances that we do create.
Speaking of strikers, I want to ask Gianni this year, because there's that Italian player that played. I know he's young and everything, but I thought he was a live wire against us for Inter Milan. I can't remember his name. You probably know his name. Yeah. What do you think of him?
Good talent, but I'm not good. He's a good talent, but I'm not one of these guys that prescribes to the guy had one good year, we're going to dump a fuck ton of money and go get him. If again, this team hasn't won a Premier League title in going on 22 years, right? I'm sick and tired of waiting for developmental players to go and prove it. Go and get me somebody that's actually going to fucking do it.
I hear.
We can worry about a developmental player after we've already got over the line for him to come in and learn the system, because now it's a proven system, instead of this continuous rinse and repeat bullshit and throwing money and see what sticks. Yeah, exactly. I'd rather go spend $100 million on Julian Alvarez. I'd rather go do that. Fuck waiting for one of these young kids.
But wait, question though. If Julian Alvarez right now, I think only has 7 league goals in La Liga, does that worry anyone here on the table?
No.
Or does his talent perceive that?
His talent perceives that. It's Diego Simeone. It's the only manager that's more rigid than fucking Arteta has been in the last 2 years. So
and I think it's also worth mentioning, that Julian Alvarez has already proven himself in the league with City.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I just wanted to see if that.
I wouldn't even care about Alvarez. I need a fucking left winger.
Yeah, that's
right. There's a player that we're linked to, Gianni, and I told you about him, man. I told you.
Rafael Leao is bro. Stop
man, we are linked to him, bro, and I hope we do get him.
Let me ask you,
we're still linked to him.
Oh, all right, Johnny, is he better than what we have right now?
It's very recent.
We missed out.
Yes, go check, man. Go check Twitter. You're gonna find a lot of links between Arsenal and Rafael Leao.
So he's not better than Trossard, better than Martinelli.
He's 100% better than Trossard Martinelli.
Oh.
He has all. Listen here, Rafael Leao has all the skills to be one of the best players in the world. The question is his motivation. You're getting a Balotelli situation with him.
Oh,
really? Don't worry, man. We can motivate him, bro. We can motivate him. No problem, bro.
It's the question. It's the question of this with him. Okay,
because how is he so good, but still they pull him out of big games for AC Milan?
Here's the problem. He was good 3 years ago. He hasn't been good.
By the way, Gianni has agenda against him, guys.
And he was.
Okay, Sammy, call him out.
Okay, so Sammy, since we're gonna do this, what position did he play when they won the league?
He was
played
more
striker.
central than left wing.
Correct. So he's
Yeah.
so again, we're doing the same problem over again. We're getting another guy who needs control, like Martinelli, like Trossard. Yes, overall he has better skills than Leao, but the problem is the motivation. Again, you want somebody who's more proven. I'd rather put fucking Rodrigo or Morgan Rogers over there who's showing some fucking light and fight than a guy who may not show up for 5 games. Because that's
Rodrigo's been shit, bro, lately. Come on.
Who?
Rodrigo's been shit
And
lately.
what has Rafael Leao done in 2 years in Serie A going on this year? Nothing. They drew again.
At least I know he carried his team to a league.
He carried a team.
We need somebody to carry us to the league, bro.
Brother, he's not doing it. Sorry. The track record disproves what you're talking about. I'm sorry. I'm going to get a guy.
History agrees with me, man. He won them the league. You deny that?
I'd rather Yildiz, man.
What has he done?
Man. Nah, bro.
What has he done in the recent? What has he done in the recent? He's done nothing. He's done his position is
so is Rodrigo. Man. He's done nothing as well.
Huh?
So is Rodrigo. He didn't do anything this season or the season before that. So where do we go from here?
Who's got more in the title trophy for showing up? Who shows up when it counts?
So it's that, man. So Rodrigo is actually the guy who won them the 4 UCLs and all that stuff. Rodrigo's the guy.
He's only
not the others.
He's only been there for 2. What are you talking about 4? He's only been there for 2.
Okay, so what kind of trophies we're talking about?
Okay, so he won them 2 league. He won 2 league doubles. He got 2 Spanish double. No, a Champions League. He did 2 doubles in 3 years. What's Leao done since then in that same time frame? Nothing.
Yeah, well, comparing Milan to Real Madrid. That's what we're doing right now.
I can say the same thing. So now that's the goal.
Yeah, and he wasn't even a starter, bro.
What are you talking about? He did start when they won the double. What are you talking about? Him and Vinny were the starting 2 strikers with Bellingham underneath. What are you talking about?
Well, recently he's been dropped for Arda Güler and Brahim Diaz as well, right?
Recently, Real has done nothing. We can go back and forth on this.
Hold on, Johnny. 19 matches, 8 goals, 2 assists. That's not too shabby, is it?
Who?
This season. Leao.
He started every game and they're playing 1 game a week, bro. They don't have any European play. That's terrible. If you're going to win a title, you're already 10 points clear. You're already 10 points behind Inter Milan, bro, with no European play. You get all the extra rest and you're still not doing anything. I'm sorry, bro. We were just talking about Eze. Again, this is what I mean. We were talking about Eze getting adjusted from 30 games a year to now going over 40 games. So now we can't apply that to Leao when he hasn't done it. He was also part of the problem to why they didn't qualify Europe for last year, because he's not a consistent player. He can show up. Listen, Leao has games where he's the best player in the world. He has the skills and ability to do that. It's consistency. At this point of still waiting to win a title for Arsenal, I don't want an inconsistent player to his degree anymore.
Who would you go for left wing, Gianni?
Yeah, who's your
personally, I'm going for Morgan Rogers. Rogers at a young age has already done it. Rogers on the big stage showed up against PSG. He was the best player for Aston Villa across 2 games against PSG. And despite what any Arsenal fan wants to say, Aston Villa gave PSG way more run for their money in that 2-legged tie.
But don't you think it's similar profile as Eze?
Who?
Rogers.
Rogers has been on the left the 2 years that he's been with Villa, or he's played on the right wing. He's not a number 10 right now. He's been a number 10 right now because of injuries, because Tielemans not there. When Tielemans starts, he's in the 10 and Rogers is out on the left. And in recent big game moments, again, I'm going with the hot hand. I'm not going with Leao. Again, if we have the money to go buy players, go get here. Taryn said it too. I'd go get Doué. Or if you can't get Doué, I'd go look at Kvara. I'd go get Kvaratskhelia if you want to go that route, because at least they've shown up. I'm not going to sell them, bro. That doesn't show up consistently. I'm sorry. We've done that too many times. That's part of the reason why we're in a 20-year drought from a Premier League title. We've taken too many chances on players that are inconsistent, and it's always come back to bite us in the ass.
I still want Leo.
Oh, guy as well from Bayern Munich as well. I think he's a baller, man. Leonard Carl? What his name is?
Yeah, Leonard Carl.
Carl just signed a new deal. Funny enough, I just saw, and they're trying to lock him down to 2031 or something like that.
The Turkish kid, Yildiz. I'd take Yildiz too.
All of
But
them.
can you make this? I haven't seen too much of him like probably you other guys. But wouldn't he like be the same like project kind of guy? Like I don't like. Would he be the same in the Premier League? He'd have to come in. He'd have to adjust new style of play. Would he be like this? Would he? What if he doesn't hit the ground running? Isn't that like a risk as well?
I mean, but like simultaneously though, you know, like
It's-
Eze also hadn't hit the ground running despite being like a Premier League like proven player as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. So
which is a
I
nice.
personally don't know who I'd go for.
about-
Honestly, I'm
About
still up in-
Yildiz, by the way, just to let you know, guys, his top speed is 31.6.
What is that of
For a
anything?
winger, that's awful for a winger. So it means that he's not all and out winger.
Pires weren't quick though for Arsenal.
Yeah, but Pires, man,
Ability, what you have, it's that ability.
he was
I've
elite,
seen
bro,
He's
Pires.
played quite a bit. Yeah, he's quite deceptive and he's quite skillful as well. And he gets past his man with ease as well. He's a very good player, man. I've seen him on the international stage playing. And he's a very good player. He's a very, very good player.
That is very slow, bro. I mean, he's quick on his feet, but he's not fast. Looks could be deceiving. I mean,
it's tricky.
maybe Johnny.
Oh,
Maybe he's watching more Serie A than me. So
What does he do?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what if we're going off pace? Then Mudryk is
it's not only pace, right? Pace is one attribute from bunch.
exactly. I'm going off.
Martinelli's fast.
Who?
What's Pace going to do in a low block? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. Who plays against the low block every weekend? Yildiz does. Leao plays in a low block with AC Milan. All they're hoping for is counterattacks. He hasn't been breaking down low blocks for 2 years. Again, this is my point. Everybody misconstrues what Leao's done. Again, I'm not disagreeing with. Talent-wise is through the roof. The problem is the mental side with him. If you here, to Sammy's point, let's just say let's say Arteta wins the league this year, he gets Leao next year, and Arteta's the guy to break through to where he's consistent. Fantastic fucking buy, because Leao has all the capability in the world. But the problem is you're hoping that the manager can do it. The players should be motivated enough if you're playing for big clubs. I'm sorry, that's the way I'm looking at it here. He's too inconsistent. He's just too inconsistent for me. I've seen him. He was great when he was a kid in the 21-22 season for AC Milan. We're talking, and this is the problem. We're talking about getting form back from 4 years ago.
But Don, I think this goes back to the point I was kind of talking about earlier, which is why I think we're in a transition, because we're naming all these strikers that potentially work in a double striker system, but we're going through different wingers, and we can't really necessarily pinpoint one that will work for Arsenal next season. And I think that's kind of what I talk about in the transition. Just from last season to this season, the fall off of some wingers, and even before that for some, has been significant to a point where you're kind of unsure about certain guys' levels if they're consistent enough to step into a team like Arsenal who face the certain challenges we face. So I think that's part of us transitioning to see the next phase of football, honestly.
Question to the panel: when Dalman comes back from his injury, do you think he will have a major part of our season? Don't
He
want to
has
hear
to.
about his age.
He
If
has
you're good
to.
at his age, you should.
He
You
has
should
to.
come
At this
into it.
point, he should get the starting left wing spot when he's healthy. In my opinion,
Left wing.
if you're not going to try Jesus,
I wouldn't play him left wing. I think
Well,
this,
right.
this is where I definitely have him as give him some rotation minutes, and I'd probably put, not forcing Noni off the left, but hey Noni, I'm gonna need to see you. I'm gonna need to see something, or maybe Saka gets more minutes at the 10 in rotation to Eze. I think this is why the manager was kind of looking at playing Saka in other positions, because Saka is such a mainstay in the team for Arteta. It kind of hinders a Dalman's progression, a Noni getting more minutes in the squad, because if Saka's fit and he's raring to go, you're not really putting him on the bench necessarily unless you're rotating him for fitness. So that's why I think Saka's picking up minutes in the 10, picking up minutes on the left wing. He's probably gonna have to shift around the guys. But I do think Dalman definitely deserves some kind of minutes, because he's shown from preseason and even in the minutes for the first team that he is a threat constantly. So he deserves some minutes 100%.
You know, like what I would even say, I would be playing Dalman like over at right wing, and I would be playing Saka over on the left. You know, like I would.
Something's gonna have to change. Yeah,
you know, like,
something's gonna have to change.
I do agree that, you know, I think that Saka is going to be eventually moved into midfield, just because I don't think he has like the pace enough. I don't think he has the pace to continue, like on the wing moving forward, especially if we want to see him like have a career at Arsenal, because I think at this stage, like he may be on the verge of getting a second injury. But I think at this stage, I would rather have him just like be like just be spamming crosses into the box, just for Gyokeres just to finish them.
But I don't think Arteta is going to play. Sorry, man. I don't think Max Delman is going to play. Honestly, knowing Arteta,
I agree with you.
Probably so.
I agree with you.
He's not the type of
I agree with you.
player. I mean, manager that will try the element of youth. I've never seen Arteta do that unless he really has to. I mean, he doesn't have anybody to play.
Because if that was the case, why loan Nwaneri? That was going to be coming back to my point, because you have someone who was older, who's played consistent minutes, and who was physically growing into it. You give him a new shirt. It doesn't make sense you loan out Nwaneri and then you're giving Doman consistent minutes. It's not going to match up. I think, yes, Doman will have a future at Arsenal, but I don't think he plays like a big part this season. Maybe next season, but again, we'll have to also see what's going to happen with the development of Nwaneri. Because you don't loan out Nwaneri and then just give minutes to Ethan. Because if I give minutes to Doman, because if I was Ethan, I'm looking at it like, wait, huh?
Especially because Ethan earned minutes after what he did last season. He should have got minutes at the beginning of the season. Yeah. Hell, to be honest with you, even if he's left-footed, I would have tried Ethan out at the left wing if he was still here over these two other fucking bums.
Yeah, that's I would.
I mean, they can also surely. I mean, again, like I know that we're like grasping for straws at this point, but I mean, like surely there's someone in the academy, that could maybe have like a few like some like game time, like every like 15, 20 minutes near like near like the tail end of the match. I mean, like again, like how else are we supposed to learn and figure out and find out that we have talent, like in the youth academy that like that is good enough. I mean, like we had in the week
preseason,
preseason, true, absolutely, and we had seen players like Josh Nichols in preseason, and we have never seen him once starting a right back this season. So,
I think if we didn't see them so far this season, they're probably not gonna feature necessarily because. Mari Simon got minutes. We see Nwaneri get minutes. We've seen Dolman get minutes. We've seen even last season we see Lewis Skelly and Nwaneri break through. So I mean, it was Charles Sogo Jr. He had a stretch of games at left wing, but again, where he's actually gone. Cabio was his name last season. We needed a striker desperately. He was a natural striker. We play Marino up front. Yeah. He was a youth product. He had to get shipped off. So I think if you don't see the talent start to get consistent minutes, is either that they're not good enough or that the manager doesn't trust them. And 95% of the time, they're probably not good enough, honestly.
Let's round up now, people. Yeah, Arsenal versus Chelsea. Yeah, what's your thoughts on the game and give us a prediction? Go rounds. Anyone could go start. Do you know what I mean? I'm actually mash up. So. Arsenal versus Chelsea. Are we confident about this game? Because I am. I think we beat them at the Emirates. Is this the change? Are we changing now? Is this the point now where we're gonna go on some type of run? We're gonna win games and win this trophy.
I think all the fans hope that. I think all of us hope that. And whether your outlook on the manager is one way or not, I think all of us hope that we kick on and win the games from here. Because again, you can't just go from a game against Chelsea. We've seen us beat some of the biggest teams. We beat Bayern Munich this season. We've beaten Inter Milan. We've beaten teams this season. Whether that's in the Champions
Chelsea
League.
This season.
We've beaten Chelsea this season already. So again,
not in the league. Though.
I'm not necessarily worried too much. But I do think I want for more so than anything, I want to see a performance. I want to see us go there and assert ourselves again. Because we're playing at home. We should be having the confidence, a week break. You have a whole week now to adjust yourself to a Chelsea game, prep yourself mentally. You shake yourself down from the Wolves game and say, okay, now it's time to go on and lift this trophy. So I think there's no reason why we can't go out there and beat Chelsea 2-3-0. I mean, look at 23-24 where we needed a result. We beat them 5-0 at home. So I think I'm not saying it's going to be 5-0 this season, but I do think Chelsea don't have a good defense. They're playing B-tier centre-back with B-tier centre-back with you.
It should be.
They don't have a proper gunman up front. We should be going there doing a job against them.
Well, champs.
So I'm confident. I'm still confident.
Agreed.
Score prediction.
It should be 5-0. That team fucking sucks.
Let's go.
Somehow, Gianni, they always turn up against us, man. They always turn up against us.
No, because that's this with them. We've allowed them to do that over the last 20 years. Ever since Abramovich took over that team.
No, I'm just talking about this season.
They haven't beaten us in
Brother,
9
it goes
tries, though. We're
beyond, it
undefeated
goes
against
beyond
Chelsea
just
in
that.
9-10 straight
Chelsea
games.
has always been the team to fuck us. Chelsea has always been the team to fuck us over the last 20 years. Whenever Arsenal had a good team, it was always Chelsea that defied the odds to fuck us over. It was always Chelsea. It's not just these recent years. Again, like you said, we didn't beat them when we should have. We should have smoked them that fucking game when they got that red card.
Yeah, you should have.
We should have put them to the sword. But like we always have done over the years, Chelsea's always been the fucking team to always be a thorn in our side. It's always happened.
So what's your prediction?
Prediction? If we go with Eze, we play the hot hand and we play more direct, we should be smoking this team fucking 4-0. That team is shit. That manager is shit. He doesn't deserve that fucking job. He got there because of all the political shit at Chelsea. We should be going to fucking Chelsea. We should be and at home smoking them 4-0 if we're about it. If not,
Come on, people. Come on.
Oh my god.
Johnny, I love his little rants, bro. He just goes into one, man. Like 4-0, yeah. What's you man saying about this game and that?
Has anything I said wrong?
I don't agree. I don't disagree.
Chelsea
I'll go
is
3-0. I'll go. PBK says 6-1. I'll go 3-0. I'll go 3-0. I'm confident going into that game next week, man. I think all of us should be confident.
Fuck, man, I wish I was confident. Look, I think we can look at it two different ways. And as Gianni had, eloquently said it, there are a lot of variables. If the manager sets up a certain way, like if the manager plays certain, if the manager starts certain players, if we have, if we have the same gumption that we had in the second half against Spurs, if we are going to play that for a full consecutive 90 minutes. Because I'm sure that everyone here on this panel can agree that that a lot of our matches this season, especially domestically, they have been a tale of two halves. Where the first half, the first half has been absolutely on life alert, and then second half we sometimes come alive. But also as well, there have been times where we consistently go up 1-0 and then we park the bus, as opposed to putting the knife further into their spleen. My heart says it should be a 3-0, 3-1. We really shouldn't even be giving up a goal, but but as of recent, we have been giving up.
You've been throwing goals at teams.
You're right.
Sesko just scored against Everton in the second 70 seconds.
Ooh, Benjamin Tesco, get on there, kid.
8 goals this season.
But my head is saying 1-1. There's some. I think.
Did you just say 1-1?
I did. Yeah. I
against
think
Chelsea.
It's 1-1.
I think again, a lot of this.
Why is it mad?
So why I hate giving predictions, especially before I see the lineup showing up, is just because there are a lot of variables. And this manager has been very inconsistent. So what I do believe though, if 29 or Odegaard or both of them start, I think it's going to be long.
Yeah, that I definitely agree with.
I was gonna say 3-0, but I'm gonna say 3-1 because our defense. We went from not conceding shots on target to just giving goals away. So I don't know what's going on with our defense right now.
Our defense is in trouble when Nketiah is no longer in the room. It's absolutely crazy.
Defense is in trouble. But yeah, I say 3-1 because I don't know where I'll go on. This team, they just wanna mess around at the back right now. I don't know where I'll go on. So 3-1, yeah.
Sammy.
What about you, Don? What's your prediction? How are you feeling going into this game? I know you said these 2 games are the games you were looking at.
Honestly speaking, knowing Chelsea and how they turn up against us, and the mental element, pressure is high. I think it's going to be a stinky 0-0.
Oh wow.
Wow.
This is like a final, isn't it, for them, innit? Because they don't want us to win the league, innit? So
Interesting.
they're gonna do us. They want to try
I
and
think
do a
it's gonna
Spurs,
be-
but they're much
They
better.
got the biggest
And they
bus
have
you've
some
ever
decent
seen
like
in your
attacking
life.
players as well. Like, to be real.
Nah, it's not about the
So-
attack. I think they're gonna park the biggest bus you've ever seen, man.
So Sammy, what would be your
Whoa.
keys for us to win this game? What do you think Arsenal have to do?
Play very quick football. Stop this build up shit and the side passes. If you do want to break that low block, I mean, we got to do what we did against Tottenham, but I don't think Chelsea players are as shit as Tottenham Hotspur.
They're
To be
not-
honest,
they're not, yeah.
they have a better
You think-
players. I'm not saying they're elite players, but they have better players than Spurs.
So you're looking at that as more of like us playing a style away, or do you think that has to be like personnel wise to get us to play that kind of football?
No, I think it's more tactical than the choices. I think we do have a very
Okay.
good squad, and I think whoever plays from our squad is better than Chelsea. I'm not gonna sit here and deny it. And it's not me glazing our players or
No.
being overreactive or something. But I just think the mental element and also Chelsea are gonna set up a very deep low block pause, and that's it. I don't think we're gonna be able to break them down.
Even if we,
You think
final
that's
question. I
gonna-
don't want to feel like I'm praying. I don't want to feel like I'm praying. But even if we play that ideal football with the right personnel, with the right profiles of guys, you still think potentially it would end up 0-0, even if
All it takes one
everything works
goal.
out?
All it takes is one goal. You're gonna open the floodgates. That's
Okay.
only gonna take one goal. But I don't think we're gonna score that goal. That's the problem.
It depends on the personnel, Gunnar. It depends on the personnel. Like I said, not to beat a dead horse with this, but if you start Eze, like let's say this for example, in the game in the was it the League Cup or the game that we drew them? They went with Reece James in the middle with Caicedo.
That was the week.
That was
If they
league.
were-
That was the league. The
red
1-1
card.
in
It was the
red
league.
card.
If Reece James and Caicedo is the midfield pairing for them, then you need to go Eze because you need to get fast football. Because if you allow them to set up and it's Odegaard that's playing, the ball moves too slow to get past those guys. Because before Caicedo got in trouble, they were running that midfield. And that's what made it even worse. That the fact that once Caicedo, go ahead.
Funny enough, Eze started that game and Caicedo was all over Eze in that game. Eze couldn't even get anything to foot because Caicedo was running on kicking people the whole game.
But
So
remember,
that's also another one of my concerns. And we brought on an Odegaard to at least get our foot on the ball. And that one of our goal ended up coming from creating a chance. It ended up with Saka. Saka made the cross in the box and we scored from Moreno. So this is what I'm going back to say. I love Eze, but this is why. This is why I think
look at the
you can't-
position difference. Look at the
Yeah.
formation and the position difference. Eze was more in that 8-10 shit that Odegaard was. He wasn't directly under the striker like he was in the game under Spurs. That's why I'm saying the positioning is the key.
Okay.
If you put him directly with Gyokeres and they blitz him, there's gonna be other gaps open to attack that Chelsea line. If we go back with this 4-3-3, slow, methodical bullshit, if it's Eze, they're gonna get on him again. Same thing if it was Odegaard as well. That's why I'm saying if you run the 4-2-3-1 that we just did against Spurs, we should blitz these guys. Because if we're getting the fastballs to Gyokeres, them two center backs are dog shit. And Fofana's off now. And who is it? It's going to be fucking Badiashile and what other fucking bum they got?
Yeah.
Tosin?
Yeah.
If it's Badiashile and Tosin, again, that's my point. If you play Eze in a more advanced role, we should be blitzing these motherfuckers. They're not that good.
Who got the red card? Who got the red card last game?
Caicedo.
Fofana.
no,
We played them or
Fofana, yeah.
Fofana got it
Fofana.
for Chelsea in the recent game. When we played them, it was Caicedo.
Fofana's not playing, so
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Their defense is going to be even shittier. We should be smoking these guys. As long as we play more direct, if we play this flat 4-3-3 sideways bullshit, Chelsea's going to set up, and I could see it being a tie. If we go direct, yeah, exactly. If we go direct with Eze and we go full blown direct at them like we did the second half with Spurs when we just blew them off the park, we'll destroy Chelsea. But again, it's all down to how it depends. It just depends how offensive and gung ho Arteta wants to be. If he's going to be slow, it could be a draw. Even with this shit as Chelsea's back line is. We've seen it before in the past. If we don't attack,
I think they can hit us in the transition.
No.
Any team
No.
can hit anybody on a counter.
You can, but I'm not. João Pedro is. Cole Palmer's still in shit form. Pedro Neto is a dribbler. He's not a finisher. Jamie Gittin should be left out. I'm really not that scared of Chelsea, to be quite honest with you. I'm really not.
Nah,
Garnacho.
me neither. My only concern is we talked about to waffle about this. Capo said it earlier. We've been gifting teams back in games, and look at even Tottenham yesterday. Tottenham had no chance to even have a goal that game. We gave them a goal. Wolves, we gave them a goal. United, we gave them a goal. Bournemouth, that game started because we gave them a goal. We've been giving teams. Even look at the Chelsea game when we played them at the Bridge. I don't know how Garnacho got 2 goals off the bench. That's still a mystery.
Exactly.
So I just hope if we don't give them a goal, we win this. We win these games. We win this game. I agree.
That's why you go gung ho. Every coach knows if your team can leak out a goal, you go gung ho on the offense and just say fuck it because you got to outscore them. So we know that we could score on that shit defense. So for me, it depends. It depends the formation. If we go 4-3-3, I could see a 2-2 draw because both teams will give up goals, especially with the form we've been in. If we go same formation, we don't have that. And the other key thing is we cannot start the game shit like we did against Spurs. Because then to what Sammy's saying, how Chelsea always shows up, they'll show up and get a goal off of us for that. If we start out slow like we did against Spurs. If we blitz these motherfuckers from the beginning and we take advantage of it, then you can coast. If you go up 2-3-0, now you can coast for the rest of the game and you can relax. But if we start slow, Chelsea could cause us some problems.
Waffle, you haven't gave us your prediction.
Yeah, I think it's the part of the season now, isn't it? It's like, what have Chelsea got to play for? What, top 4? They're still in the FA Cup. They haven't really got much to play for apart from the FA Cup. Maybe top 4
They're
as
still
well.
in Champions League too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're still in the Champions League. Yeah.
They get redrawn. They get redrawn after this round, just like we do.
You know, with Chelsea, yeah, there's some kind of mental thing with Chelsea as well. Because I know they drew with us in the league and stuff, yeah, but we've beaten them like in a cup as well now.
10 men.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking to myself,
They haven't beaten us in 10 games. So
yeah, are they checked out now? But I'm sure that they're not going to want us to win this league. So because they're City's little darlings, aren't they? They love City, innit? They love buying players off them as well. So
Blue Brothers.
I'm going to go 2-1. Be close, but I think it'd be a 2-1 win.
Fairs.
But anyway, people, man, I'm gonna lock off, man. Have you guys subscribed to each other and all that? Yeah, because looks like it's the content
Things
creates.
Yeah. I think I'm subscribed to
Brother,
everyone.
I can barely take you. I'm just kidding, but I mean, I can barely take you seriously when you're always frozen.
I know I'm frozen here.
Yes,
But I mean, you lot
it's a good posture. It's
do
a
the
good
longest
posture,
stream, yeah,
Chris.
when I've got no Wi-Fi as well. You know?
You know what it is, yeah? It's because I know what he's doing. He's going off the tab and it's just freezing his face.
Oh, hey.
And I told him last time, you're on Twitter, take your camera off because you're frozen like this. And I was trying to tell you.
Okay. Let me take my camera off then, man. Sorry. Let me just take my camera. Brothers, shout out your channels and that, man, because you, man, listen, I ain't even rested since I got home from work, bro. But it's been a mad stream, you know. Shout out your channels, man. Anyone could go first.
Dr. Seymour Butts, Chief Arsenal Proctologist. I don't got a channel, but I'm always here working 24/7 at London Colney Renal Center. You know, so if you need your head pulled out of your ass, sorry, if you need your head pulled out of Arteta's ass, you can come schedule an appointment. Not out.
But you have got a channel though.
I do. Well, I mean, look, in technicality, I do. It's America's Public Servant. That's more on my personal career path. But to that end, I mean, like this account. You know,
let me ask you a serious, controversial question now. Yeah, this is outside of football. Yeah,
yep.
Can you see a World War III in the next couple of years? Honest opinion.
No.
Well, so I mean, so ultimately, there's a massive nuclear deterrent, considering that the United States has the largest military arsenal when it comes to that. But with that being said, we are going down a very authoritarian driven path where we're seeing a lot more autocratic regimes popping up all around the world. And additionally, we are also seeing we're also just seeing a lot of repression of individual liberties and rights. Like even here in this country, we have seen a government over the last 20-25 years becoming more autocratic. Especially post 9/11, we have seen a massive influence of wiretapping. We have seen a lot of natural, civil liberties and rights that that had always pre-existed to be eroded. And I would also say, it's certainly what gives it the viability are the leaders that currently exist in the world. These are very power hungry individuals who oftentimes shoot first and ask questions second. So unfortunately, because there aren't many level heads in the world anymore, there will always be that question of whether or not we are inching closer to that time.
Very good answer. Oh no, who's
No,
that?
sorry. Waveland's answer, like, I'll change my gender, That's that.
Nah, that's mad. Yo, that's mad.
I ain't get dropped into no more, cuz. You must be mad.
Nah.
You must be mad.
That's mad.
Oh, yeah. Listen,
That's crazy.
you know what?
You're mad.
Nah, that's mad.
Mountains,
That's mad.
On paper, I'm gonna be something else. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I'm
That's
gonna
mad.
be in the
You're gonna be
mountains.
Kaaba these moving forward.
On paper, I'll be something else, but
Kapadana.
I'm crying.
No, but
bro.
on a serious note, man, it is scary, man, with the amount of
Nah, yeah.
nutters admin we've got in this world, man. Gianni, what you got coming up, man? Listen, you, man, yeah. Gianni's got a wicked show, yeah, where you have your 11, pick your 11 players, like your best 11. I'm not gonna say it's my best 11, but it's the 11 players that I would love to watch. So I've been doing this for like nearly 2 weeks now. And he's got a show, he's got a show that, obviously you tell him your best 11, and I think he compares other players as well. So, you know what I mean? Make sure you lock into that show because it's a really good show, man. I know
Nice.
I know BBK's got a team on there. It was really good as well. Who's the other guy as well? What's his name? What's his name?
Shane. We did Shane Guna.
Shane's been on there. Who's the other guy?
Aaron talked Rashid.
Has Aaron been on there as well, yeah?
Aaron was the first one.
Well, is his team all right? Is his team good?
Yeah. It's so basically it's called who you would pay to see. It doesn't have to be your greatest of all time, who you think's the greatest is. It's just 11 players that you would pay money to see play football together. It can be low-key killers. It could be players that we all say the streets will never forget. So it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be your greatest 11. We all know the arguments. It's Messi, Ronaldo, Maradona, Pelé. Yeah. Beyond all that, who would you see pay? And I've
got 5 players so far, Gianni. So I'm gonna make sure if I get the invite next, I'm gonna have a. Is it 11? It's 11.
I think you should do eras better. Like if you do it in which era, I think that will kind of.
That's the beauty of this. There's no lock to an era. You could pick players from old to play with new.
So you compare other people's teams to the team that someone would pick, or how would it work?
Get the plumbing tool out. What's it?
Yeah.
Get the plunger out.
Hey, when you got that, you can come holler at me.
Oh, go walk the dog. Go walk the dog. Go and walk the dog.
Gianni
man,
Talks.
it's been a good show, people.
No, I was just gonna say my channel's Gianni Talks Calcio TV. Like I said, we do the show who you would pay to see, and we talk about other stuff as well. So yeah, appreciate meeting all you guys. Appreciate talking ball. Appreciate having me on, and yeah,
make sure you guys subscribe to the guy. His channel is here, guys. Just put that in the thing. Make sure you guys subscribe to him. I think you're on 220 subs in it at the moment.
Yeah, climbing. We're climbing. We're working.
Climbing, and you get some good numbers
Keep
in
going, bro. Keep going. Keep going.
Good numbers, bro. Who's next? Who wants to go next before I freeze up?
I'm just subbing to everyone.
In Seymour's Dr. Seymour's
that time has already come and gone.
I'll go next. Gunner Street people. If you don't know, well, you don't know. I do live streams. I do player analysis, player breakdowns. I try to do like cover players' history. Those are those deep dive videos. I also do short form content, start, sub, sell, randomizer videos. So tap in with me. I'm trying to take my channel to the next level 2026 and my Instagram as well. So Gunner Street official or Gunner Street or anything, just check me out. Appreciate it.
I like your Instagram as well, bro. Like you got your little interview thing going on there as well.
Bro,
so I really like
it.
that. Okay, that kind of stuff, man. Who's next, man? It's either Rig or Capo. Which one wants to go next?
Go ahead, Capo.
I'll go first. I don't really do reviews or channels and stuff. Listen. But
gotta get you on, Capo,
as you can
man.
see everywhere, Waveland 8. I'm a professional videographer and creative director, so like I edit and I'm sitting behind this desk all day. So you probably just see me in the comments of BBK and the rest of them. I don't have a channel, but if you want editing work, you can hit me up.
Yeah. I'm gonna need an intro video for this stream though.
Yeah,
so yeah, we'll have
man. Waveland 8 on IG, Waveland 8 on everything.
Big up. Man like Sammy, what are you telling me?
Yeah, man, football rig. I mean, do live watch-alongs, live reactions, shows as well. Arsenal News Drill Down, Gianni and the Doc, and also you, Waffle Down, are familiar with. We break down every Arsenal rumor, news that is surrounding the club, and we just talk about it and dive deep and just drill it down. I mean, that's about it.
I hear it. Where's your channel now, man? I had it just here. I need to put you on the. Hold on. I need to put you on the
favorites.
Yo, big fella, what do you got going on, Waffle Don?
Yeah.
Outside
What?
of maybe.
Well. The next thing should be concerning you because we're supposed to be doing. Do you know what? The other day, sorry, we couldn't do it, man. I need to get my Wi-Fi. That's what I'm gonna focus on. But we need to do the Arteta thing and the. I was gonna ask you guys quickly, yeah. But I'm gonna do a show on this anyway, and we'll close off with this, yeah. In this modern day era, yeah, does the captaincy actually matter? That's my question to you. And anyone's open to give any opinion, however they want to give it. I'm not going to debate it or nothing.
I'm just going to say.
I think it's important, aside of the manager and the tactics and the lineups and all that stuff, the leader on the pitch is the guy they rally behind, the players respect, and they see him. I mean, he's leading by example as a role model for the players, the way he performs, the way he acts, even on or off the pitch. It's important to have that kind of figure and in the club, I would say, and I believe maybe it died out a little bit at this time, but I believe it's very important to have that kind of person in the club that will carry. If things go dire, you look into that leader, and he's the one who's pushing the team to perform at a high level.
I think it can be important, but I think it also just depends on the management. Like if Arteta doesn't care who's his captain because he's going to have 4 people who are essentially his captains, then having one it takes away, the power that having one has. So if you feel like, no, I want to have one guy that everyone has to listen to, then you will make it, a priority to make sure everybody knows this is the captain. So it depends on the, I guess, the coach's management style more than anything else, rather than the player or the captain, like that we're actually talking about.
Yeah, but you guys agree with this? I don't know, voting thing about you got to vote for your captain. I mean, that's ridiculous for me.
I don't even know if it's real, but I hate it.
I think that's how Odegaard got it, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what Arteta said, and I actually said this before, but I'm not sure how true that is.
It's straight.
But teams do this stuff.
I don't mind voting. I don't mind voting for a captain.
No, teams do
Especially-
do it, but I don't know how true
No.
it is in this situation. Is what I'm saying. Like I'm not sure if I believe.
I want to ask you. I want to ask you guys. Let me just delve into this because me and Dr. Seaman, we're gonna delve deeper into this though. Yeah, but
Mhm.
do you think the reason why Odegaard is captain, yeah, is because he's kind of emotionless? Because you got Declan Rice, he's quite. You can see there's emotion in him, and you've got Gabriel. You can see there's emotion in him. They get triggered at certain points. They're leaders, I get it, but with Odegaard, you don't see any emotions. You don't see him getting, wound up on the pitch. Is this one of the reasons why?
I don't know if it is, but I think
collected type of guy.
I think Declan Rice answered this one time when he was asked about the captaincy. I think it's because, and I think even Norgard answered it. It was Norgard, sorry, that answered it. I think it's more so because it was if it was voted on, if they're going by that narrative, and if that is true, which I think it is, because Norgard also said why he's the captain is because of how he leads the team, whether that's by example and how he shows up. I think all those behind the scenes things also matter. How you show up, how you prepare, how you do certain things. And again, on the pitch is different. Performance is different. That matters more so than anything. But behind the scenes, working with the guys, how are you with the guys? Are you someone people can approach? Are you put the arm around the guy? Can you develop the youth? Can you develop other guys in the group? Are you a closed off figure? I think all that stuff matters when it comes to captaincy, especially at a big club like Arsenal. So I don't mind having a captaincy group with what Capo said. I do think it matters in terms of management style. Whichever people prefer to be the main captain is up to the person and how they view the team and how the manager views the team. But in terms of having a captain in a leadership group, I think that's probably how management has gone to go. Because again, then you put yourself in a predicament. What happens if your captain isn't performing? You have to pull him out the squad. That's uncomfortable conversations, which is why we're even having this conversation in the first place. So, yeah, I think I don't find anything wrong with the captaincy leadership groups.
And now I just thought of something. Maybe it's like me as Arteta, I'm gonna give you 4 people who are my captaincy group, and then everyone can vote on who out of the 4 is gonna be the number 1. That I can understand.
Maybe that's how they did it because
I can't understand how me as a manager, like, no, someone pick my manager, like someone pick my captain. That means I don't care who my captain is. Do you get what I'm trying to say? I don't get.
We don't know how that process went down fully.
I think it's a mixture of that because like what Gunner Street was saying, all great teams or all good teams that we've seen has had a leadership group.
I'm a leader.
Like here, whether to the fault of them or not, Chelsea had the player power in their team, which led to the reason why they were hiring and firing managers. But they had that leadership group that was John Terry, Didier Drogba, Frank Lampard with that team. Right, with all the major teams, all teams that have massive successes have that leadership group. We can go to AC Milan back in the day with fucking Kaká, Maldini, and everybody from there. We can go to all those teams. The captaincy though is important because the captaincy is the guy to, like what Gunner Street said, is going to do all those extra things. Now, Odegaard, I don't know because the one thing I will give Arteta, it is a tight-knit locker room. You don't hear a lot of drama falling out of that locker room. So maybe to a degree there is that we're not seeing. Emotionally, though, to like what Waffle was saying, a lot of the captains do have that more emotional side to them to where they take it to the next level of getting in guys' faces and organizing shit. We've seen it throughout the history of football, no matter what. Tony Adams was more emotional than most guys when he was the captain at Arsenal, and that's the thing. Sometimes you need the captain to be more emotional that when the times are bad, if the manager's talk isn't getting through, that extra emotion kicks you up the ass from your captain. So to me, it's a mixture of both. You need to have a strong leadership group that's going to lead the way and show in all facets that you need to be better and keep the standard high. But there also needs to be that extra little bit to come out of whoever is selected as the manager, the captain.
I was even going to ask, do you really think that the players here, like in this, like back in the day, like had voted in Tony Adams as captain or Patrick Vieira as captain? Like no, like those are those are all like managerial decisions. I mean, like I don't buy this whole claptrap that that like players are voting for their own captain. I think that's absolute crap.
But what I would say to that is personalities also take over when it comes to football. So we all watch Declan Rice and we say that's a captain. That could be a potential captain. We see Gabriel and say that could be a potential captain. The same thing for the players. Now they know Odegaard is a different form of captain, but everyone has that respect for a Gabriel and a Declan Rice that if they say something on the pitch, they are viewed as a captain, leadership group because they are, but or even if they weren't, they're viewed that way. So I do think personalities transcend just an armband, but I do think it's a double-edged sword. I do think it's a double-edged sword, but I hear it. I hear both sides of it.
What Waffle said about I actually think you lose something. Like if your captain doesn't have that emotional connection, I think you lose a big chunk of what being a leader is. Like
Exactly.
Being a leader is you're the one that is gonna basically rally the troops, and you can't do that. Sometimes you need to like get into people's faces to get that out of them. Everybody's different. Everyone's man management style is different. Some people need an arm around the shoulder, but then there's other people that you really need to stick it. Huh?
Also for the control too, Capo. It's also for the control to maintain focus when the times are tough.
Yeah.
That's why, like when you look at Chelsea, I'm sorry, Caicedo's not a good captain.
Yeah.
Because he makes too many stupid fucking decisions. Same thing when
Christian
you look
Romero.
at Spurs. I was just going to go that way with Romero. It's you have to. It's not only being emotional, but also being able to be level-headed to be able to
So have a balance then.
time.
Yeah. Balance.
Go look at AC Milan. Gattuso was a fucking madman and could always get himself in trouble. Maldini would get in his face, tell him to shut the fuck up, and then he wouldn't get in trouble because he took it to that next level. How many times did we see it at Chelsea with John Terry getting in guys' faces to tell them to shut the fuck up and keep the course? It has to go to that extra level. So what Capo's saying is 100% correct. That to not have that emotional side to it does take a bit of the bite and the edge. Like sometimes, what have we always said that Arsenal is a problem with sometimes? We try to do it too clean. You need some of that nastiness and grittiness to get through a full season. And that nastiness and grittiness comes out of that extra emotion to take it just that extra level further than someone who is not as emotional. And for me, I think Odegaard was picked by the manager. And the only reason why I'm saying this is because if you look at the length of the captains, it was Aubameyang. And then as soon as Aubameyang got shifted out, it was Lacazette. Then Lacazette got shifted out. And then after that, there wasn't any real captain figure in that team. Also, Xhaka was sent out. So from there, when you look at everybody post that team, Rice wasn't there, or I think Rice would have been given the captaincy. Gabriel Magalhaes was the number 2 defender. Was the number 2 defender at Lille when we bought him. He wasn't the main defender. It was the old Portuguese guy, Jose Font, that captained them to win the league title the following year. So Gabriel Magalhaes wasn't in a leadership position to step into that role. No, but Trossard wasn't there yet until later. So Odegaard got handed that thing because he was probably at that point looking at who was in the locker room the best man for the job, either by the players or most so from that point from the manager. But that's the whole reason why I think he got chosen. I think if Gabriel was more the player he is now, or Rice was there, I think they would have been given the captaincy over Odegaard. That's my opinion on that.
Facts.
Sammy, or should we just wrap up now?
Yeah, I just had my say about the captaincy. I mean, and I agree with all of the guys here. I do agree. It's a very important element in the football. And yes, you need that guy who would take the extra mile for you. And you look, to that guy who's going to carry you. I mean, it's been like that since, the beginning of time, and I don't think it changed.
Definitely. Hey, big up to the panel, man, today, man. It's been levels. Nearly 3 hours of streaming, man. You, man, had a lot to say. I was like, first hour, let's wrap it up. I was like, these men are just talking, yeah. Second hour is like,
He's the waffle now.
hey, yeah, I'm gonna look at I've had my dinner and everything, and all this time when you lot been talking, bro, it's been mad. But it's been a massive stream. But
waffling skills, bro. It looks like you're getting.
I'm gonna have to return the favor, innit? So I'm gonna have to give Football Rig an hour. I'm gonna have to give Johnny a bloody hour as well. Do you know what I mean? And Mr. Dr. Seymour an hour on his America's was most wanted or whatever you call it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. It's on the run.
Nah, big up to you, man. Though,
Primo,
man.
put it in the private chat. Your
what his channel?
I got you.
Yeah, the personal one.
Yeah. Put it in the chat, man. But listen, people, yeah, thank you all the chat and all that for Jump coming down. And listen, we need to beat Chelsea. We need to win this league this season, man. I'm gonna crash out big time. Big up, people, and we out. Peace.
Peace.
Cheers.